Drugs. See your girl in the park. System overload.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel-biting, bagel-bitch boy, bagel-bitch back.
Yo, Full-Time family. This is going to be a live panel. We're going to talk about some upcoming fights and just break them down and stuff like that. Maybe talk about last night's fights. Hopefully we can get some members of the panel on here. That's really what today is for you guys, the Full-Time family, to get your thoughts out about everything that's been going on in the MMA world. But right before I started this stream, I just heard, "Bring your ass outside," and it sounded like my mom's voice. So my mom and my girl might be scrapping outside. We might have to play a song, and I might have to run downstairs real fast and see what the fuck's going on, because she just pulled up. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Y'all can hear me, right? Yeah. So, we're going to be talking about McGregor versus Khabib, the press conference, and all of that shit. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. So, real quick, I'm going to run McGregor versus Khabib, the song, because I got to go see what the fuck's going on outside, because my mom and my girl, they've been getting into it lately. Like, it's not like just my new girl. Like, we've been together like 7 years, but it's a crazy situation. But what I just heard, I need to go check on. So we're gonna play McGregor vs. Khabib, the UFC Yankovic song, and I will be right back. What the fuck, dog? Hit thumbs up. All right. I know the song's probably over. I don't know why the fuck. Oh, it's got an outro going and shit. What a bad time to go live. What a bad time to go live. Holy shit, Full-Time family. What a bad time to go live. Yeah, so hopefully they ain't scrapping by the time this live stream is over. Because I heard correct. Holy shit. Oh, God. Fuck it. Oh, my Lord. What the fuck? My girl's giving my dogs a bath. My mom just pulled up. Bowed it. Bring your ass outside. Oh, my God. Oh, fuck. All right, guys. Let's start this show. Hopefully the panel is here by now. Yeah, man. Let's check the chat, see who's all here. We're going to be talking about some fights. Oh, my Lord. What a time to go live. We got Michael Marney in the building. Can't wait for McGregor Khabib. Given Turnham said the song never played. What the fuck? Oh, what kind of dog shit is that? My bad, y'all. So it said just let them fight. Yeah, man. May the best woman win. Shit. ain't shit I can do about it. Ain't shit I can do about it except for separating. But my brother's down there too. But either way, like, I mean, I honestly don't think they're gonna be scrapping. My mom's weak. She talks a big game, but she's kind of weak. Just she might underrate my girl though. She might underrate my girl. But either way, they don't need to be fighting, man. What the fuck? This is crazy, dog. Oh, what the hell, dog? Mom's is ready to throw hands, yo. And right now she might be high or something, dog. So she might be feeling like Superwoman. So I'm like, oh, I hope she's not over here fucking on one like that. But I don't know where her mind's at right now. So, god damn, man. But if I hear scrapping, you guys, I might have to take off for that. Oh, shoot. TJ347 with the $25 in the super chat. Nunez gang represent. Yo, salute to TJ347. Thank you very much, good sir. Nunez gang in the house. Yo, what is up, good sir? Michael Marney says, my nan versus John Jones. Yo, can we buy this fight on pay-per-view? Oh, dude. Now, is it illegal to record your family fighting? Yo, if it's not, I mean, I might have to, like, switch from the YouTube stream to, like, a live Facebook stream on my phone or something. Yo, because I told you, like, it's like a real-life Mari show, like, every day over here. It's not one thing, it's the next. But, Devontae Bartholomew says, full-time, I'm hyped to be there. Yo, this shit is lit downstairs. And my mom brought my aunt, too. She pulled up with my aunt, so it's, like, 2-on-1. Like, even if my mom, like, called my girl outside, and she, like, they actually started scrapping and no one was there to separate. Even if my girl started winning, like, my aunt would be there, so I don't know if she would jump in. I don't know. My aunt's about it, too. My aunt, she's down to scrap. Oh, goddamn, dog. They better not do that shit, right? That's crazy. That is crazy. But you guys, so yeah, anybody from here, so what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be having a live panel on Google Hangouts. Anybody can call in. We're going to be talking about the fights. We're going to be breaking down at least the main card of UFC Southpaw last night. Santos versus Anders was the main event. We had Oliveira versus Pedersoli. Sam Alvey versus Little Nog. What a fucking performance from Little Nog. Didn't expect that. Came through, got the knockout. Holy smokes. Andre Ewell beating Henan Barao. Wow, what a night of fights. And then, of course, the draw in Marina Rodriguez versus Randa Marcos. Yo, we had some fun fights. Francisco Trinalt, like, yeah, it was a good fight night, man. If you're a hardcore fan, this was a good fight night. A lot of people probably didn't care too much about this card because, you know, they only care about the big names and the big drama show. But if you're a fight fan, all the way from the Fight Pass prelims, I mean, you had Jillian Robertson versus Mayra Bueno Silva. I mean, Hector Lombard, Talis Latest. Like there were some good fights last night. So we'll talk about at least the main card. You know, I know everyone doesn't care about the whole card, but of course there's big fights to talk about. McGregor versus Khabib, Ferguson versus Pettis. I want to talk about that, man, because I honestly think people are a little bit asleep on Anthony Pettis in this fight. I really do. Tony Ferguson, I think, yeah, maybe if he's 100% healthy, he's clearly the favorite. But for one, we don't know if he's 100% healthy, and for two, Anthony Pettis isn't, it's not like he's a terrible matchup from Tony Ferguson. Like, yeah, I mean, like, Tony Ferguson might be a little bit better of a striker, a little bit better of a wrestler, but even with his jiu-jitsu, Anthony Pettis is dangerous with his jiu-jitsu. I mean, I think he can trade with Tony Ferguson. He can strike with Tony Ferguson. Like, Tony Ferguson might be a little well-rounded, but you still got to question his health. That was a pretty nasty injuries coming off of when he tripped over that cord. If you kept up with the recovery process on his social media at all, and you saw, like, the fucking scars and the staples and shit, a lot of people were like, yo, will Tony Ferguson ever be the same? So I think this fight's way more intriguing than some of the, you know, chatter I've heard. Like, Pettis doesn't have much of a chance. He just got that triangle armbar submission over the very talented jiu-jitsu artist Michael Chiesa. Like, that's also very impressive from Showtime Pettis, so we'll see. But yeah, I think Tony Ferguson, you give him the favorite, right? But at the same time, I'd be curious to see the odds. I wonder if the odds are out on this. I actually think they probably are. Reggie the Tree with the 5 in the super chat. Yo, thank you very much. My brother, full-time, stay encouraged and keep preserving. God bless. Yes, sir. That's what we're going to keep doing, man. Just keep grinding. But I thank you very much for that $5 in the super chat. Uh-oh, we got the Mark Hunt Atomic Butt Drop. Oh, shit. I'm going to be updating these, man. Like, I want to put the, like, some new stuff from the McGregor vs. Khabib press conference. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be updating those alerts. But thank you for that $5 in the super chat. And again, to you, TJ347, thank you very much for that 25, man. That is much appreciated. I didn't even expect that. So thank you guys very much. Dutch Style Black Cloud says, is Tony still doing the same off-the-wall training? Yeah, he does off-the-wall training. It's very unorthodox, but he fucking trains hard. Whatever he does, he's working hard. Like, and his balance is insane. Like, I fuck with Tony Ferguson, and I hope he does. I'm rooting for him. I want to see him come back and kind of like come in where he left off, but this is no easy fight. and you know what I'm saying? Like, for Anthony Pettis, a terrible matchup might be like a really dominant wrestler, maybe, right? Like Khabib, he'd be a terrible matchup, I think, for Anthony Pettis. Somebody like that can really dominate him on the ground. Or like a Kevin Lee type fight. But, I mean, he's got the jiu-jitsu to still be in the fight. But I think that's really a bad matchup for Pettis. Someone that's going to try and smother him like that. But someone that wants to do jiu-jitsu with Pettis or someone that wants to trade with Pettis, Pettis is in those fights. He's in those fights. This is a great fight we got right here. Stamina MC in the building. And, yeah, if anybody, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Let's just get that fired up. Let's get that fired up. So, yeah, I want to talk about Pettis versus Ferguson, Khabib versus McGregor. Maybe Lewis versus Volkov, if you guys want to talk about that. Honestly, I don't see Derek Lewis. I mean, I know he's the number 2 contender. I just don't know how much of a chance Derek Lewis has, honestly, in that fight. That's just my personal opinion. And he's one of my favorite heavyweights for sure. But he's got those persistent back issues. Even when before the fight, he's like, no, I got these mercury shots in my back. I'm going to be A-okay. They last a week. I'm good. My back locked up in round 2. It's like, goddamn, like, and those back injuries are never, you know, you can never really know with those, and it's like they never really go away for Derek Lewis. There's no surgery that can be done. They're always going to be there. It's just a matter of managing them. And so now he's got a new treatment. Hopefully that'll work. But I mean, that's just all on the Derek Lewis side, the questions. That's got nothing to do with his opponent being a fucking beast, Alexander Volkov being a legit heavyweight title contender, in my opinion, that just finished Fabricio Verdum in the 4th round, showed he can go past 3 rounds, and even got the finish over Fabricio Verdum. That's very impressive. Finishing Fabricio Verdum, are you kidding me? Like, come on. Do you guys think Derek Lewis would finish Fabricio Verdum? Maybe in the maybe a lucky punch. Like, I just don't think it's the same. I just think Alexander Volkov, it might be underrated here. Like, because actually, I think he's probably going to, I think I've seen the odds. Yeah, let me see if the odds are live over here on UFC.com. Yeah, they have them. Volkov is a -175 favorite, so he's not even really a 2-to-1 favorite. So, I mean, I think Volkov's got a good chance to win this fight, a really good chance to win this fight. But I will say this, if Derek Lewis can win this fight, boy, do I want to see him fight for the title. Woohoo! He beat the #1 contender, Francis Ngannou, and now Alexander Volkov, who finished Fabricio. Oh, Derek Lewis is never going to get closer to a title fight if he wins this fight. You better give him a title fight. Let's go. I mean, I don't want him to have to go. Oh, God, they all would be hard. You got Curtis Blades and Stipe up there. Fuck. Damn, he would be up. But he's the #2 contender. He beat the #1 contender. Got the fight with Volkov. I'm just saying, if Derek Lewis is ever going to get a title shot, it'd be if he won this fight. But you would have to allow him to skip Stipe and Blades, and I don't know if that would be possible. Even though he's a higher contender probably than Blades right now. But I know that's a fight I'm sure Blades would like. Blades is going to be fighting Ngannou in Shanghai, I believe. That's going to be a dope fight. So, yeah, man. And then Pettis is almost a 3-to-1 underdog in that fight. That's what I was looking at, too. I think that's a little heavy. I don't know. He could win that fight, but I just don't. I mean, I think Pettis wins the fight, but I don't know if it should be that far apart. So we'll see what happens. I think Pettis is in that fight. I like that fight. So I don't see Stamina or Forward in here. I mean, I see Stamina. I meant Forward or Infamous. I know they usually join the panel. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to load up the Google Hangouts. I'm going to put the link in the chat for anybody that wants to join. And hopefully we don't get any trolls this time. But we're going to risk it. Google Hangouts. And then I don't hear any commotion downstairs yet, you guys. I think we're good. But my girl was giving my dog a bath. So once she's done with, what if my dog jumps in? oh shit, protects his mommy. You know, oh shit, my mom better be careful. My dog, he's nice, but he ain't a killer. But don't push him. That's all I'm saying. Yo, we're gonna have like a family death match downstairs. It's gonna be like my mom and my aunt versus like my dog and my girl. I'm gonna be up here talking MMA. No, I don't think it's gonna get that serious, man. I really don't, man. My mom, she's got she talks a big game, but as her son, I know her. Like, I can't think of the last fight. I don't know if my mom's ever been in a fight that I know of, ever. And I've heard her so many times, bitch, you don't know me. Oh, I'm not the one. I ain't the one. And it's like, Mom, come on. I'm your son. You're the one. Child, stop it. But my aunt, she ain't so, I don't know. My aunt, yeah, you know how you are when you're with your sister. You've been talking. You can't go. Yo, I wish this camera was like, had like Wi-Fi. We would be down there live streaming the action. But yeah, so let's get a call started. Got it over there. Boom. Now let me invite people. Holy shit, I might need to shut that door. Then my nephews and nieces are being loud and shit. Fucking party downstairs. Alright guys, here's the link. For anybody that wants to join, this panel will probably go for another 45 minutes to an hour. A lot of stuff going on down the stairs. Maybe cut it a little short. We'll see. Alright, did I get the link? Alright, I got the link. Alright, so now I need to pull up the chat. Alright. Do you have a job full-time? Yes, sir, I've got a job. That's why I haven't been able to do much shit lately, except for the daily shows. Alright, there's a link for anybody that wants to join and talk about these upcoming MMA fights. We're going to really focus on the big fights for this MMA panel to get you guys' thoughts on those. I mean, we break down all the little news, you know, on the weekday shows, you know, all the upcoming news and the little fights that everyone might not care about. So, for the people that are here for the big fights, that's what we're going to be breaking down. McGregor versus Khabib, Ferguson versus Pettis, the fights last night possibly, and oh, by the way, please don't forget we got Mousasi versus Macdonald this weekend. There's no UFC Saturday the 29th. Bellator's got the Saturday. Even if I work Friday, I'm not gonna miss these Bellator fights. And oh my lord, the card is stacked, headlined by the Moose or the Goat, whatever you want to call him. Gegard Mousasi defending his middleweight belt against Rory McDonald. Didn't have like a cadence to it, like the Migos or something. And we got Rampage Jackson fighting Wanderlei Silva in a fourth fight. They already fought 3 fights. Rampage Jackson knocked out Wanderlei 10 years ago, and before that, Wanderlei knocked out Rampage twice. Wanderlei's up 2-1. Co-main event, maybe the main event for the casual fan. You know, the bigger names, they switch them around. Who really cares? The people's main event is Mousasi versus Macdonald. But we got Rampage Jackson versus Wanderlei Silva. Holy smoke, somebody's going to sleep. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Yeah, these dudes might be a little past their prime, but someone's going to sleep. Both of these dudes are coming off losses to Chael Sonnen, and then you know how he won. He ducked down, ducked his taco, and shot for the takedown, did what he needed to do, and got the win. So, I mean, he won the fight, but Wanderlei Silva almost knocked Chael out twice. He had his ass, whoa. He was rocked twice, Chael Sonnen was. Wanderlei Silva came in there, rocked him twice, but ultimately got taken down and lost the decision. Now, both of these dudes, neither one of these dudes are bringing up the wrestling. These dudes are coming in to bang, and if Rampage can win, one of my all-time favorite fighters, these guys will be 2-2, and I doubt it, but wouldn't it be crazy if they fought a 5th time? Has that ever happened? Oh, the way, says Michael Marney. UFC 7 tonight? Yeah, man, UFC 7 tonight. Wasn't able to do it last night, but yeah, man, we're going to be watching UFC 7 soon. Hopefully tonight. It should be tonight for sure. I mean, it'll be later, but for sure. Over there on Twitch, we'll be watching UFC 7, watch party and shit. Tom Thier says Wanderlei is washed up. I mean, you could say that about Rampage. But this is the thing really with both of them. And you could say Wanderlei's washed up, but if he would have knocked out Chael Sonnen, would you have felt the same way? This is the thing. Wanderlei's only fought 1 time in the last 3 or 4 years, but that's because he got banned by USADA for like 4 years because he evaded a test. Never took the test, didn't so he wasn't able to pass or fail it. But he all right, there's my dog out the bath, which means my girl's either gonna be up here next or we're about to hear a cat fight downstairs. Or she might get my other dog and give him a bath. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Either way, where was I? Yeah, if Vanderlei would have knocked out Chill, I don't think you could have said he's washed up. I think that's what I was saying. But either way, someone get on the panel, says, give in your name. Hey, if no one hops on the panel, I'll just talk about these fights real quick, and then maybe we'll do a panel later this week. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I mean, because it's Sunday. Normally, we don't do a live show every Sunday, but I just figured some people wanted to join the panel. But either way, I'll just go live and talk about these fucking awesome fights coming up if nobody else wants to hop on. I'll put the link out there one more time if anybody wants to join the Google Hangout. But yeah, the normal people who are on the panel, I don't see them in here yet. Forward, he was on Coach's stream earlier a couple hours ago, so maybe he's doing something else. But I think my boy Fat Ninja Flip said, I got a dip, guys. Hold it down, fam. UFC tonight. I hope. Yeah, man. Yeah, see you later, Fat Ninja Flip. But yeah, Bellator, not do they just got Gegard Mousasi and Roy Macdonald and Rampage versus Vanderlei. Douglas Lima versus Andrei Korshakov. All this on the same card, by the way, next Saturday. No UFC. If you're not watching Bellator, you are not a fucking MMA fan. If you're not watching this Bellator event next weekend, I don't know how you're even on this show. Like, do you only watch? You got to only watch the UFC. This Bellator card is literally more stacked than 50% of the UFC cards that have been put out this week. This year. This fucking thing is stacked. The welterweight Grand Prix gets kicked off. Former champion Douglas Lima taking on former champion Andrei Korshakov in a trilogy fight. Douglas Lima lost the first fight to Andrei Korshakov, knocked him out in the second fight. This is the trilogy. Both of them former champions. Winner moves on to fight the winner of MVP versus Paul Daly. The fucking welterweight opening round. Opening bout. First fight of the welterweight Grand Prix. Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? Look at this card. Aaron fucking Pico versus Leandro Higo! This shit is stacked! Aaron Pico. Arguably the greatest MMA prospect of all time. Before his first fight, that was the headline on UFC.com. It said, is Aaron Pico the greatest prospect in MMA history? And you might be like, what? That's high praises. And then he comes out, of course, and loses his MMA debut. But since then, he's knocked out all three of his opponents in the first round with a body shot. Liver shot, to be exact. Sends him to the motherfucking canvas, making it look easy. Sending him out in the first round. Boom, boom, boom. 3 fighters in a row. Now he's 3-1. And boy, was he under a lot of scrutiny and pressure in his MMA debut. Not only did he have all the prospect of being called not only did he have all the pressure of being called the greatest prospect in MMA history, but also it was in Madison Square Garden on Bellator's biggest card of all time to date, Silva versus Sonnen. And Pico, hella first professional fight, but he's still tremendous talent. Only like 20 years old. And you might be wondering, why is he called the greatest prospect of all time? And it's because he's been wrestling since he was fucking young. But not only has he been wrestling since he was young, he's been training to be a mixed martial artist. He's also a Golden Gloves boxer. So he's a Golden Gloves boxer, tried out for the fucking Olympic wrestling team at 20 years old, trying out for the Olympic wrestling team and shit. Golden Gloves boxer. That's MMA. All he's got to do is work on his jiu-jitsu, and this motherfucker is the champ. He's up there. Aaron Pico's got a lot of potential. That's all we're saying. And he showed that. He lost his debut, but since then he's been knocking motherfuckers out in the first round. Just, and it's been lower competition, but now that type of competition, the fire, they turned that fire from they turned that shit from simmer to motherfucking the heat all the way up on Aaron Pico's ass. In this fight, he's got to take on Pitbull Leandro Higo, 18-4, former bantamweight title challenger. But I got to tell you why I love this matchup. At first thought, I'm like, don't do this to Aaron Pico, dog. Don't do this to him. What the fuck are we doing? If he loses this fight, that's trash. You don't want to see the greatest prospect in MMA history going 3-2 to start off his career. What type of shit is that? But this is just a real test for Aaron Pico. And this is why I like it. At first look, I'm like, this is too much of a test for Aaron Pico, man. Don't do him like this. But then, this is a bantamweight former title challenger. Aaron Pico's a featherweight. That's why I like this. It's a tough matchup. It's Aaron Pico fighting a title challenger one of the highest skilled fighters in bantamweight or featherweight, but it's one division down, so that'll help him in the grappling department. So, you know, his wrestling, if he gets too far behind in the striking or whatever, if he's Golden Gloves boxing and if his striking can't keep up with Higo, he'll have at least a little more size in his wrestling in his back pocket to still potentially get to a decision, because this is in California. He's from California. I think if he can just get to a decision and make it a close fight, Higo will probably get the decision here, to be honest. But I think the fact that Higo is a former bantamweight title challenger and he's stepping up to fight Pico, that makes it like a perfect test for Aaron Pico, because it's one of the best fighters, but one weight class lower. So I actually like this fight a lot, man. Forward in the building, there he is. What's up, Forward? Let me know when you're ready for a link. Today is the day for the panel. We're going to be talking about Bellator, Mousasi versus Macdonald, McGregor versus Khabib, just breaking down a few fights, man, chopping it up. But we only got about 30 minutes to an hour to be live today, because I got a whole bunch of weird shit going on downstairs. Some family drama, faux show. Chris says Tiger Woods won the first time, 1876 days. Bellator has come a long way. Tom Tish says, here we go. They left the UFC because Bellator pays way better. Shout out to the Wrench Gang, says Forward. PK Boxing and MMA. Salute to you, brother. I see you in the chat. What's going on, good sir? How's it going? Cam Murphy says, in the building. Hey, Forward. Michael Marnie, what's going on? All right, so if you want the link, there it is one more time for Forward. If you want the link, hop in, talk about whatever. We can talk about the main 4 fights you see in the title are the ones I really want to talk with the panel about, get you guys' thoughts on these fights. I mean, do you think Pettis has a chance in that fight? I think he does. I kind of broke it down a little bit earlier, but not those fights. Also, I want to talk about Joanna versus Valentina. And it looks like that's not even going to be the main event of UFC 231. That's kind of interesting. I mean, that's a big fight. But, you know, the UFC likes to put at least 2 title fights on these cards. So, excuse me, maybe that's what they're looking for. You got this fight in Toronto, Canada. So, I mean, there's talks of GSP coming back. Do you guys think he'll want to come back for Toronto? That'd be a good spot for him. But I don't know if that would be the case. There's a lot of potential. I mean, it's really too hard to speculate the main event for UFC 231. We really need to know the main event for UFC 230 first, because Dana White said 100%. I think it's not John Jones versus Cormier. Now, there's been speculation that it's going to be John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson, but I really don't think I like that fight right now. But maybe I do. What is it going to be like for an interim strap? Is DC going to vacate the strap? Like, if DC's healthy, why would he not be fighting Gustafsson or John Jones? If John Jones comes back, I think we understand why Gustafsson gets skipped. So, yeah, that's weird for me. Tom Thier says GSP is scared of Tyron. I don't think he's scared of Tyron. I just don't think the Tyron fight makes a lot of sense for GSP. He's already the GOAT. I mean, he would just be risking that. Like, if he beats Tyron, people just say he's the GOAT. But they already say that. And you know, it's not like Tyron's going to bring him a whole bunch of money. You know, he doesn't have a huge reason to fight GSP right now. So, yeah. With that being said, let me check the Google Hangout. Uh-oh, I just heard somebody. Somebody's in the building. What's going on? We got Forward in the building. What's going on, good sir? Let me put that up on the screen for the family. Everybody can hear Forward? Everybody hear Forward? I think we're good. Okay, my echo. I'm not sure what okay. Alright, I got it. Alright, man, how's it been? I heard you on Coach's Chat earlier talking about some boxing, talking about some Anthony Joshua and stuff like that. Didn't seem to be getting your point across. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean I mean, as far as you weren't, you know what I'm saying, you were up against the numbers over there. But yeah, man, I was listening, you know, learning a little bit of boxing from you guys. Yeah. Yeah, really, those are the ones I really wanted to talk about. I mean, if there's anything that stood out about UFC Sao Paulo you want to talk about, we can touch on that. But I mean, I was gonna do a UFC Sao Paulo recap tomorrow on Monday probably, so we can really just talk about these big matchups if you're down for that. It's all good, all good. Yeah, that could have been a chess match before. We got to see some dudes standing and banging. Oh, someone says mic isn't working. They can't hear you. Okay, let me check the chat. For some reason they can't hear you right now. Let me try and fix that. All right, can you guys hear him now?
Oh damn! Yo, what's up?
I think we're good now.
Testing.
I think we're good now, guys. Well, yeah. Now you guys should be able to hear him. I think.
I hope so.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay, so
Yeah.
I'll check the chat. I'm pretty sure they should be able to. Yeah, they can hear you now. All right, guys. Well, pretty much he was saying he had a late night. He was talking a little bit about earlier today. He was on Coach's channel talking some boxing. He said it was a good chat, had some fun on there. And then he said pretty much we're going to be talking about the big fights that you see in the headline, like the big fights coming up. But he was just going to break down a little bit about UFC Sao Paulo he was talking about right there. So that's all you guys really missed. Not a lot. So.
Yeah, I threw me off track a bit. Look, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, on to Sao Paulo. Yeah, so as I said, which I guess everyone misheard or didn't hear, I did fall asleep for the main card, but I did watch the main event over again. Amazing fight, absolute war. I mean, I tried to watch it without any spoilers. I kind of got a gist of what happened, but I mean, it was still entertaining as anything. So, yeah, and I mean, to be honest, I was kind of surprised with Anders' cardio to an extent. The fact that he was always getting those takedowns. I mean, yes, he did tire up to the end, and he even sent out a tweet saying that was the most tired he's been since his wedding day. So, yeah, I'm not too surprised by that. But no, I was impressed by his performance to a degree because I rate Santos really highly. I think like this is actually a really good spot for him getting a main event slot, considering that he's quite a well-known name to the hardcores and he's got a good ranking, but yet he hasn't really got any major victories. Obviously, there's the biggest fight that stands out to me from his career is his loss to Mousasi, and even though he's on a good run, he hasn't fought the biggest things and had been in the biggest spots. But I thought this was a great spot for him to be in the main event in Sao Paulo, get that kind of notoriety with his fan base. I think his Brazilian fan base is definitely going to go up. And although he wanted to be in standby for UFC 230, obviously with one of the middleweight fights potentially falling out, I think this worked out better because he got a victory against a good guy, put in a really good performance, and yeah, it's only upwards from here. I think his ranking will probably stay the same, but definitely he's going to get a top 8 fight in it.
Yeah, and this is the thing because he moved up to 205 in this fight. He was fighting at 185, so yeah, hopefully he gets a fight at 180. He was talking about cutting weight for Madison Square Garden because there's so many middleweights because he's trying to get a top fight and it's hard to get him one. So he's like, I'm just gonna cut weight and be ready for Madison Square Garden. So if somebody falls out, I'll be ready. And as far as Eric Anders' cardio in that fight, man, he took this fight on super short notice. Like the week before the fight, a headline came out, and I think it was like 3 or 4 days before the fight. He still had like 20 pounds to cut. So I think that might have really played into his cardio in that fight because he was dog shit exhausted. Like he just collapsed between rounds. He couldn't even make it back to the corner. Like, and I think that probably, I honestly had to do a lot with the fact that this was his weight cut, and he had to cut so much on this fight was so short notice.
Absolutely. I mean, I thought he did pretty good considering, because when I heard how short the notice was, I thought his game plan was going to be just, you know what, let me just stand and bro. And even though that's a horrible tactic to have against someone like Santos, I mean, I thought that was his only way. But I was impressed with the amount of takedowns he was able to get, the fact that he was able to control him at times. But I mean, I kind of called it the Travis Brown elbows because we were kind of all known him for that. And those elbows, once he got me that, I just thought, damn, there's no way he's surviving. If you got to the end of the round, I was like, wow, he survived. But Then once he collapsed twice, I mean, in the middle of before they even got to the store, then I just knew it was the right time to stop it. So, but I mean, hey, he doesn't really lose much credit from this fight, in my opinion. I don't know what you
Yeah, I
think
think
about it,
his
but I
stock
feel like
went
his
up a
stock
little
kind of
bit because
goes
he
up.
fucking I agree. I mean, he stayed in there. Like people, if anybody questioned his heart before, you can't do that now. And he's as tired as he was, he never gave up, and he took the fight on short notice and that was already big in itself because his only loss in his career before this fight was to Lyoto Machida, and it was a split decision in Brazil. So he could have been like, I'm not going back to Brazil, and kind of like Derek Lewis, I'm not going to a black man in Russia. You know what I'm saying? I think that was more of a joke, but either way, he already got robbed once in Brazil. Some people feel like he took Machida down a few times in that fight. The fight was really close. It was too close to really say it was for sure a robbery. But either way, some people feel like that was his first loss in his career. It was a split decision in Brazil. So to take a short notice fight in Brazil, I mean, he had a good chance of losing this fight if it went to decision. I'm sure he knew. You know what I'm saying? And he still took the fight, and then he had a solid performance. So yeah, I think his stock actually probably went up a little bit still.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to be honest, if you look at the guy he just faced, I mean, I did say that I'm not sure if this was when before or after I was muted, but I did say that Santos is maybe the fight that I remember him most for was the Mousasi fight where he lost, but he does have a win over Lionheart, which answers Stamina MC's question in the chat. Because of that win, which people almost kind of forgot about because they wouldn't. I mean, Smith has then gone on to better things, but people forget that was only like in February, so that was a recent victory. So yeah, it's a tough loss.
Shit. He's already fought four times this year. I did not realize that was in February of this year.
Yeah, he's fought a lot. He's been active, and the thing is,
he
wants
got
to fight
knocked out
again
by David Branch like after that, and then he already fought Kevin Holland, and then he's already back in here. I didn't realize he already had 4 fights this year. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
And in 2017, he was man. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1 in his last 7 fights. Yeah, hopefully he can get a higher ranked opponent. We'll see. But this is the thing. Well, he didn't have to cut a lot of weight here. So we'll see if he still wants to, cut weight and be ready for Madison Square Garden. That might still be a good idea, because even if he doesn't get the fight, he just got a payday. But that might be one of his best chances to get a higher ranked opponent. Because I want to see that. But he's one of those guys where he's a high risk, low reward. So guys will fight him. I don't think they're scared or terrified. I mean, but if there's a bigger name, they'll probably take that over Thiago Santos. He's not really a high reward. If you beat him, it doesn't, I don't think, do a whole lot for you. And so it's going to be hard to get a higher ranked opponent. But, man, he deserves one for whatever that word's worth.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm thinking about it now. Isn't the record amount of fights in 1 year, isn't that 5 fights? So wouldn't he tie it if he fought again?
In the UFC, probably. I know Andre Uwul, who beat Henan Barao last night, he fought 7 times last year.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, this guy, he fought 7 times in 2017, and he already had 3 fights before his fight last night in 2018. So that was his 4th fight as well in 2018. This dude has been super active, but he's trying to fight to pay the bills. I think somebody told me during the Fight Companion last night that he was talking about how he was almost homeless before he got signed to the UFC. So that probably explains why he fought 7 times last year.
Yeah. Actually, let me ask you one question. Right? So that's actually the fight, funnily enough, that I fell asleep in. But not that it was a bad fight. I think I was just conked out by that point. But I saw an article saying that he's called out every big name in the UFC 135 and 145 rankings now. I didn't hear the call out. I didn't hear his post fight interview. But how did he actually go about wording it? Because if he just said that, I want any big name, because if that's what he did, then that's probably the worst thing you could possibly do. Because no one's gonna be like, oh,
who made the call out?
The guy who won, I think his name was
Uwul.
Uwul, yeah.
Yeah, Andre Uwul.
I mean, I'm gonna go back. I don't know if it was a great fight, but I mean, how was the call out? Because if he just said, "Oh, I'll take any big name," then that's probably the worst call out you could do. Why not call your shot and actually say a name and get that person to either react to you by ducking you or take the fight?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly who he called out. I probably, after the fight, I was probably reacting. I probably missed that part. I'm not sure exactly who he called out. I know one person he called out, though, was a rematch with Henan Barao. He said next time he'll knock him out. But I don't know exactly if he called anybody else out on the mic. But salute to Kenshiro MMA over here. He said Uwul was fighting to put food on the table. Yeah, man, he got a win, man. He fucking beat Henan Barao. I was shocked there. Henan Barao, man. I feel like after he had the success on the ground in the first round, he should have, like, at least, even if it was desperation takedowns, you know, kind of like when Jillian Robertson fought Molly McCann, like, she was like, I just got to get this fight to the floor. I think Hendon Brown should have at least, you know, tried to get the fight back to the floor, but Andre Wu was able to just kept hitting him up with that 1-2 all night. Fat Ninja Flip's not here, but he said it was almost like off of a video game. He kept using the same move, but it was working. You know, he just kept hitting him with that 1-2, 1-2, and it was working. So, but that was really a very impressive win for him. I don't know if he can. I mean, maybe he can win the rematch with this fight because Hendon Brown didn't look amazing in the second 2 rounds. But yeah, I didn't know much about him except for how active he was before that UFC debut, honestly. So I don't know who he called out, but I don't know if he really has the, you know, power to get whatever fight he wants. Of course, it works. You know, if you call your shot, it doesn't always work. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you call your shot, it definitely helps. But I'm not sure exactly who he called out aside from the rematch with Hendon Brown. But yeah, man, it's crazy you went to sleep during that fight because right after that, I don't know if you saw the highlights or not. Little Nog knocked Sam Alvey out, like fucking.
Oh, yo, shit, really?
Knocked him out, bro. I was like, oh shit! I think it was the first round. Like it was earlier in the fight. It might have been early in the second round, but yeah, I thought he was like a 3-1 underdog almost. He came in 10 years older than Sam Alvey, less experienced, but he was in Brazil, and man, Brazil came through for Little Nog. I mean, you know, the heart of the crowd, they were loud. I mean, they were probably the loudest for Little Nog, of course. You know, he's one of the legends over there, him and his brother. But came through and knocked out Sam Alvey. I was like, holy smokes. And then right after that, it's funny you fell asleep because also Cowboy Oliveira got a fucking 40-second knockout right after that. So you fell asleep right before the 2 knockouts, and the main event was a knockout too. So, but yeah, that Uwell fight with the second round, if you were tired, that would have put you to sleep because it was a little slow pace when it went to the decision. But it's crazy because after that, it was like knockout, main event.
Yeah, I need to catch up on those, man. Damn. All right, you know, before we get into those 4 fights, I have to ask you, right? So I've watched so many videos on this, Chael Sonnen videos, Luke Thomas videos on this. Why didn't they announce the UFC 230 main event? And if the case is they haven't got the answer, they haven't got a main event, then what's it going to be? Because Willie can't fight. If it's not going to be Jones, then like who can they
tell you
main event that?
Why I think it is now. I'll tell you why I think they didn't. I think they didn't want to let people down, maybe. And that's just a theory. Because if they would have, because if it's not going to be a huge fight, we're going to be like, oh, a little bit. And it would have put a damn, like, let's say they announced Jones versus Gustafsson. Yeah, we like that fight, but we would have been like, why Jones versus Gustafsson? Why not Jones versus DC? Like, I think people would have been, if it's not the fight we're all expecting, if they don't give us what we're all expecting or better, then, you know, instead of us talking about how good the press conference was, which it was fucking amazing, then it would have probably been overshadowed by maybe that announcement. I don't think they wanted to overshadow that press conference. So I think it could have been that. Either they didn't want to overshadow the press conference or they wanted to change it up maybe, you know, because this is one thing about the UFC. And I've heard Chael Sonnen talk about it too. Like, even whenever you think you have it figured out, like, they like being unpredictable. Even when you think you have it figured out, they're going to fucking change it on you. And a lot of people, I don't know if you saw the Alpaca Thesaurus video, the new, you know who I'm talking about? He like breaks shit down, like, psychologically and shit. But he was breaking down, like, at UFC 228, there was a point where Joe Rogan said he knew what the main event was, and Daniel Cormier was right beside him, and he was breaking down their body language and shit, and he predicted it was going to be John Jones. And he also said, and I think it might be announced at that press conference because it's in New York. And so after that, I know that it didn't convince me, but it was a good speculation. Like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe they do. And this was before John Jones was even cleared, I believe. But either way, there was a lot of people that were starting to predict, oh, they're about to announce John Jones versus DC. So, you know, maybe just to keep it fresh, to surprise everybody, they switched it up. But I think it probably more had to do with not wanting to overshadow that press conference, because that was a great press conference. And unless they announce John Jones versus Daniel Cormier, I don't know what other fight is big enough, honestly. That is one thing to talk about. What do you think are possibilities for the main event? because you have
Sure.
to. One thing is Tyron Woodley and I haven't did a video on this yet. Tyron Woodley is undergoing a hand surgery. He's out for 8 to 12 weeks, so he's not going to be able to fight for the rest of this year. Possibly, he might be fighting on ESPN. Honestly, him versus Covington, unless he's back in time for UFC 232. But shit, Tyron Woodley might not be back for until 2019. So that takes away Covington versus Woodley. So what can the main event now be? Dana White said 100. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting because they were looking for a big fight to main event the ESPN deal. I remember Luke Thomas saying that the perfect fight would be Woodley versus Covington, but it's gonna happen before. Now, if that could be the main event for the new ESPN deal, then that's perfect for Woodley. He's obviously he's the most longest reigning champion, right? So he could really build up a big name. But obviously back now to UFC 230. My idea was it's best to announce the fight now, the fight who it is on the for the press conference for McGregor Khabib, because why you got all these eyes on it? I mean, there was 500,000 on the UFC channel. There was about another 50,000 on the
it's already over 3 million now.
Yeah, damn. So I mean, you got all the many eyes onto the show. So why not get that attraction, and then you can build a name like Woodley. Let's say Woodley was gonna fight on the MSG card against Colby, or let's say if my next theory is maybe they actually make it Poirier versus Diaz for the 165-pound belt, which was a theory that I was hearing about. I mean, if let's say you're announcing any kind of fight there, you almost make that fight bigger because you're announcing it on the biggest stage possible, where all your eyes are on Khabib and Conor, and then they can also look forward to a big UFC 230 main event. So that's just the idea I had on it, rather than now you're leaving it lingering, because tickets are still gonna tickets are gonna be on sale pretty soon. So I feel like it's best to at least promote that fight. The main event's gonna be now, but if they don't have a fight, then I just wonder what else it could be other than promoting Diaz and Poirier to the main event.
Yeah, and I've heard a little bit about that too. I think Dustin Poirier said on Twitter, was like, "Yo, make us fight for the 165 title for the main event." But honestly, if they do that, I mean, that's a big fight. But they already announced that. I feel like if they move that to the main event now, it means they couldn't find another main event. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But I don't know what else is left for them to actually. There's no other fights that I can think of that are logical, that can actually make sense for that main event. Now,
Chael could be right, he could be wrong, but he sounded like he's about 95% sure he knows what it is, and he said it'll be he said he's about 95% ready to report that it's gonna be Jones versus Gustafsson. He said, I'm not gonna make it official, but I'm pretty much telling you it's gonna be Jones versus Gustafsson. You know how he does it sometimes, like, I'm not gonna say it's official, but I'm telling you this is what it's gonna be. And like, it's because he don't want to fucking be the one to spoil it, but he said it's gonna be Jones versus Gustafsson. And now, so that's a fight. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking would love that fight. I just feel like there's a lot to risk there. But I mean, the UFC, they gamble sometimes. I mean, you know, they've risked it. But I'm just saying, like, and it might be unlikely. But what if John Jones comes back and he looks like he looked against Rumble, and what if he loses to Gustafsson? I mean, maybe he still moves up to heavyweight, and we still want to see the DC fight. But for me, I mean, I was already starting to salivate at the thought, and this was before John Jones was cleared. Like, holy shit, John Jones versus DC3 at heavyweight, fighting not only for both of their fucking legacies at a new division, but also fighting, the winner fights Brock. Like, I was just fucking rubbing my hands like Birdman, like, oh, let's go. But fucking now I don't think that's a possibility. And I get DC. You know, I don't know, what do you think about DC? Like, I'm not fighting that dude right now. Like, I already got this fight with Brock. I get it. I'm not, like, of course he wants the easy fight first, like, because, like, let's make this $5 million off of Brock and then fight John. But if I fight John first, I might be losing my huge payday. I don't want to do it in the other order. But he said something along the lines of, I've moved past John, and we know that's not true, because he said he wants that for his last 2 fights. He said, I want to fight Brock and John, but he wants it in that order. He don't want to fight John and then Brock. That was pretty funny.
Oh, no, if DC's smart, he has to avoid fighting Jones before Brock, because the one thing, like, I mean, Jones, in a sense, he didn't ruin his career, but he's kind of always loomed over his career. But what DC kind of has over John is the fact that he became heavyweight champion first, and he's going to take the Brock fight. So in a sense, he kind of almost won a fight against Jones without actually beating him. So he doesn't want to then sacrifice that, but then losing a third time and then losing the Brock fight. I mean, that would kind of just tarnish his entire career again, in a sense. So he definitely wants to avoid that. And you know what? The Jones Gustafsson fight is something that I initially thought that was going to be the original main event. It's something that I look forward to. And I guess the only thing that made me think that's not going to happen is Dana going on ESPN saying that Jones won't fight until 2019. But now when I think about it, how many times has Dana said something and he's backtracked and then ended up being announced 2 weeks later? I mean, even in that same press conference in the UFC the winter press conference when they announced Woodley Till and all the other fights, they said that we haven't got any news on. We haven't got news on McGregor Khabib, and then 10 minutes later they wrote a promo. So
yeah, man, he's been wrong a few times, but this was the thing. Like it's crazy because he's so adamant. Like someone was like, "So you're saying like 100% it won't be John Jones fighting at Madison Square?" He was like 100%. And it's like, what? And it's going to be crazy. They're like, all right, everybody, it's actually Jones versus DC. Oh, shit. Like, to me, that's the best fight possible, Jones versus DC. Now, if we can't get that, and we're not getting Covington versus Woodley, all that leaves for me is Jones versus Gustafsson, or one fight that I don't think there's enough talks about, but it's a big fight that's open, is TJ Dillashaw and Henry Cejudo. It's a champ versus champ fight. I don't know if it's big enough, but I'm just saying it is available, a champ versus champ fight, and that's one of the only other options. Yeah, unless they make Nate Diaz and Poirier the main event, but I really don't think they're going to do that, man. I don't think they're going to have. They could, if they're going, but that would be opening a whole new division. Like, are they ready to do that? Like, are they fucking really ready to roll out a whole new division like in this week? I don't know. I wonder if they would announce the division before that. I don't know. That would be interesting. But that is a good theory. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Not 100% sure. I honestly, whether it's Daniel Cormier or whether it's Gustafsson, I really want John Jones to be in it. I mean, what the fuck is the point of telling on somebody? What's the point of getting your suspension shortened if you're not coming back? I don't want to make no snitching jokes. No, but seriously, what's the point of his suspension is right before Madison Square Garden. He's from New York. Like, goddamn, I just want to see John Jones in Madison Square Garden. Like, I don't really, honestly, I'm not going to be picky and say it has to be a certain opponent. Of course, I'd love DC, but I'm down for Jones versus Gus, man. But the question then would be, would it be for an interim lightweight strap? Would DC have to vacate? Like, that would be a weird situation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Luke Thomas also put it to a question of if it wasn't Gustafsson, because Gustafsson is not even cleared, let's say, to be sure for fighting for that spot, which is maybe why there's still the hold up. Would you want to see Jones against any heavyweight at 230? Obviously, it wouldn't be DC and it wouldn't be Brock,
Stipe.
but I mean, the potential for exactly. Stipe, potentially Lewis, potentially. Well, actually, no, Lewis is booked, but I mean, maybe even Ngannou. Actually, Ngannou's booked. Okay, there's a lot of people booked, but Stipe itself would be a great fight. Exactly.
I think Stipe is the only one open. But that would be crazy because Curtis Blades is like, yo, Stipe, you want to fight before the end of the year? You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like, no, all right, I guess I'll go fight a rematch in Ngannou. And then Stipe is like, what up, John? Like, that would be funny. But no, that would be so fucking lit. Like, I don't know if you could, I mean, that would be a non-title fight, but I don't give a fuck. I want to see John Jones versus Stipe. I would love to see that fight.
Crazy fight.
But yeah, then it wouldn't be for a title because, I mean, you ain't going to have an interim heavyweight title. But I would still like to see that fight, though. So, yeah. But there's another, I mean, UFC 231, it's going to have Joanna Jedrzejczyk versus Valentina Shevchenko. But if you look at UFC.com, it says the main event is still to be determined. So they need a headliner for that card, too. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that one's already, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's going to be TJ versus Cejudo at 125. Because I've already seen some of the reports leak.
Oh, no, I know who that's going to be. No, I'm pretty sure that's going to be Ortega and Holloway. That's the reports that leaked. They asked Holloway, are you going to be fighting Ortega? And they were asking him about the contract. And he was like, yeah, I don't know how you guys already got the word, but yeah, they already sent me a contract, and I don't see why Holloway wouldn't sign it. So unless Max Holloway, for some reason, turns down the fight, I'm pretty sure actually that would be Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega, actually, right there. That's a fight that...
Okay.
That's a fight that's still on the table that's going to be coming up later this year, I think. So I think that would be there. But as far as Cejudo versus Dillashaw, I actually heard a rumor that it was going to be at the end of the year, TJ, or in December. Now, I don't know if it would be 231 or 232. But if you remember, Dominic Cruz's teammate came out and said he hinted at Dominic Cruz versus TJ Dillashaw at the end of the year as well. But, of course, we've seen the two face-offs between Dillashaw and Cejudo. So, honestly, really not 100% sure what's next for TJ, but Dominic Cruz's teammate was like, coming soon, December, Dillashaw versus Cruz 2, So I mean, that was like some, and you know, that was like some inside information there. So that might be coming at the end of the year too.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you would almost think that they would maybe want to do a women's MMA theme. I mean, I know it sounds too good to be true, right? But I mean, they could have moved that fight, the Joanna Valentina fight, onto 232. Move
Dude.
TJ Cruz onto 231. Then you have Max Ortega as the main event. But I guess, I mean, even still, they mix it up. I mean, it still be great fights, and I would like to
on
see
top
TJ
of that,
or TJ at least fight a retain or defenders belt or fight for the 125. But I'd like to see him at least fight in 2018 because he was only for once this year. He hasn't been as active as he was when he was chasing the belt. So I mean, it'd be good to see him fight again, definitely before the end of 2018.
yeah. I was saying on top of the that women's themed card, I honestly don't know if the UFC 100% trusts the women's abilities to sell a pay-per-view on their own, and I say that because you know whenever we had Valentina versus Nico, they were still desperate for another title fight. And then here at 231, you know, this is actually, in my opinion, a bigger fight than Nico versus Valentina. This is a bigger fight, you know, with the former champion and former queen Joanna coming up to fight Valentina. This is a way bigger fight. So, I mean, if Nico and Valentina couldn't headline, I'm kind of surprised this one can't. But I think, yeah, they're still going to add another title fight here. But honestly, unless it's Conor and McGregor, most pay-per-views nowadays have multiple title fights, or at least they try, unless one of them falls out. But so, I see in the chat, Quincy Panola says Vicente Luque versus Jalen Turner added to UFC 229. Yeah, man, I saw that, I think, earlier today or yesterday, but it's not on the actual schedule yet, I don't think. But yeah, I don't know who Jalen Turner is. Let's look him up because I know he's coming from Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Jalen Turner, is that his name? Jalen Turner, the Tarantula. But Vicente Luque is a motherfucking beast, dude. Jalen Turner 7-3. Dude, like, let me show you the odds for this fight because I think that's where I saw it. That's where I saw it, on the odds website. They had the odds for that fight before the fight, you know, before we talked about it here. Let's see. Pretty sure it's going to see Jalen Turner. Yeah, right here. Okay, yeah, so Vicente Luque is a big favorite. I was about to say, I thought he was a closer than that. Yeah, he should be a big underdog in this fight. I don't know much about Jalen Turner, but I do know that Vicente Luque is a fucking beast. He should probably be fighting a ranked guy, but he's one of those high risk, low reward guys. But I'm big on Vicente Luque. So that fight's going to be going down at UFC 229. That's dope. We got, looks like that might be the last fight for the prelims. I don't know if they're going to add any more fights, but they definitely needed one more fight for the prelims. That'll be there. So, yeah, man. What were we talking about before that news? I don't remember exactly. I know. Oh, yeah. That's what it was, the women's card. I was going to say, and on top of that, I mean, I was talking about women's headliners and stuff. If you had Valentina, like, I've talked about this before. I don't know if you've heard it or not. You might have. I don't know. But it's the 4 horsewomen, but that's not even it. You could have Rose versus Andrade on the same card.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the 5 fucking horsewomen with Andrade. Holy shit, that would be crazy. But yeah, man, I don't think they're going to do that now because, of course, they got Valentina and Joanna on this other card. But either way, man, the end of the year is going to be big for, I mean, it's almost a champion versus champion fight if Joanna didn't lose to Rose. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still kind of that, even though it's not. Joanna's still champion worthy. If anyone else had the belt, Joanna could probably get it back here. But I think Rose she's probably not going to beat Rose. So we'll see how that happens. But yeah, man, hopefully Rose will come back by the end of the year. I would hope so. I really hope so. I don't know how serious her neck is injured and whatnot, but hopefully she'll be back in time to fight Andrade. That should happen sooner rather than later. But we really need an update on Rose's health. It didn't sound like a super serious injury. She just said it was an injury she was kind of taking the time to heal up since she had the time. Like, no clear-cut contender, so I'll heal up my injury. So it didn't seem like it was like a super crazy injury. So we'll see what's up with that. Hopefully we'll get an interview with Rose from Ariel Helwani or somebody soon. But
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of funny how many champions win their belt and then get just get an injury afterwards. I mean, it seems almost a bit like I don't know what I want to say. I mean, I obviously love Rose. I mean, she's an amazing fighter. And to be honest, unlike many people, I actually pick her to beat Andrade. I mean, as much as it's a nightmare matchup, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like what I saw from Andrade against Carolina. I feel like if she comes in with that same game plan against Rose, she's gonna get caught coming in. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we do see that fight again as well. Probably at 232, hopefully. But again, I mean, the thing is, most people may be wanting to hold off on their injuries, make sure they recover well, because they will know that ESPN card's coming up in January. So you can almost get the feeling that maybe a lot of people are wanting to wait, maybe get a spot on there because they know that's going to be the big money. Because people even up to now talk about Dos Santos versus Kane when he knocked him out, and we saw the big following that Santos got from that. So
yeah, I was thinking honestly, you know, Yoel Romero versus Paulo Costa, like, and this is just a theory of mine. I'm not gonna bust out the tinfoil hat, but there was already the reports, right, of Paige Van Zandt versus Rachel Ostovich and Wonder Boy fighting on that very first ESPN card. And so my mind was, okay, they're trying to put all, like, the pretty people, right, the fucking marketable, the Wonder Boy, the Paige Van Zandts, the Sage Northcutts. They're trying to put them on ESPN, right, the brand new kid come into ESPN. They're trying to put all the marketable people in, because it's a whole new audience, right? You're going to have ESPN is going to be at a sports bar, or it's going to be at some fucking grandpa's house. They're going to be watching ESPN, and you're going to have to get these people kind of used to cage fighting. They ain't really, a lot of them might not be super used to it. We're going to be in a lot more households when they move to ESPN. So they're going to be putting Paige Van Zandt and stuff. And, you know, I think that's what they're trying to do. That's what it seems like, because whether it's Paige Van Zandt or Wonder Boy, that's just what I get from them. For them to be on the first card, they're very marketable. And so now that I think about that, Paulo Costa and Yoel Romero's like, no, I'm injured. I can't come back until early 2019. So, I mean, you know, you might have a point, people angling to get on these ESPN cards, you know what I'm saying? Trying to be in the front of these new audiences or whatever. I wonder, but those are on free TV, so I don't know if there's an extra incentive except for you're in front of more eyes. But those are also two very pretty people, Yoel Romero and Paulo Costa. I mean, that's a fight, you know, right before it comes on. Like, hey, babe, weren't you putting some wings in the oven? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, or weren't you going to the liquor store? Didn't you say you were about to go do something? Like, no, I'm just kidding. But that's also some pretty marketable people. That's just a thought that I had. But yeah, man, it seems like they're putting a lot of marketable people at the beginning of 2019. But you think normally now at the beginning of this year, the pay-per-views in the beginning of the year, those weren't huge, you know? So I don't know if it would really help you to be on a pay-per-view at the beginning of the year. It really always going to depend on who's on the pay-per-view, no matter when it happens. If it's at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, you're going to be hoping for a stacked card. So unless you're trying to be on ESPN or something, I don't really know how much that's going to help you. But salute to CSH Combat Sports, Coach Shelton Harrison in the building. Coach, if you got time, if you want to hop on the panel, we would love to have you for sure. See you in the building. Thanks for stopping by and showing some love. And guys, if you haven't yet, we got 40 people watching. It'd be awesome if you hit the thumbs up button. Much appreciated. Don't be a baby back bagel biting bitch boy. Do your boy a favor. And so yeah, man, let's talk about Valentina versus Joanna, you know, in honor of Coach while he's here. Well, what do you think about this fight? Do you think Joanna has much of a chance?
Damn, so this fight, right, this almost is so to the normal fan, this fight would be, oh my god, it's an amazing fight. What a great fight it's going to be. But to us hardcores, because we kind of know what happened in those 3 fights in Muay Thai, I mean, I haven't watched those fights. I mean, I know how dominant it was for Valentina. It's almost hard to get a picture in my head of it being an amazing contest, but I just feel like you can't write off Joanna just because, not of what we've seen, but from what I know of her character, I know that she won't be taking these losses lying down. She's going to want to improve on what she's done against Rose. And she knows that, yeah, she was training with Valentina, so she probably got tips from Valentina, which helped Rose manage to definitely knock her out in the first fight and get a close decision in the second fight. So I feel like there's a lot for Joanna to improve on. And I don't know if she's going to be able to make the right adjustments, because I look at it and I thought, what can she really adjust in her game to make sure she beats Valentina? Because I feel like Valentina's almost better everywhere, especially when it comes to grappling. And then her submission offense, obviously what we saw her do against Pena. It's going to be a tough fight for Joanna, but I mean, I want to see someone come up with like a keys to victory for Joanna and tell me what things she can do to win, because the more and more I look at it, I don't see where she really has any. I mean, even the size factor, I mean, there's a lot going against Joanna in this fight, but it's a great fight for her. And again, I certainly feel it's a better fight going for this rather than fighting Suarez back at 125.
Yeah, man, I'm not going to lie. And before I get into this, because I'm probably going to sound like a jackass, but honestly, I want to say salute to Dave and also answer a question, Benji and Power Techniques. I see Stamina answered it, but if you haven't saw, they said, why is Pettis and Ferguson not 5 rounds? Ferguson and Pettis. The only 5-round fights are title fights and main events. So not all co-main events are 5 rounds. If it's a title fight co-main event, it's 5 rounds, but only title fights and main events. But yeah, that's what that is. But as far as this fight, Valentina versus Joanna, I just don't understand how Jedrzejczyk know how Joanna has much of a chance. I just don't see it. I mean, and I don't want to. I mean, it's Joanna. You can't just. It's not Nico Montano, right? It's Joanna. But honestly, in the stand-up, Valentina's got her beat. She beat her 3 times in Muay Thai. So Joanna's going to have to... I mean, Valentina's got her so much beat. I really feel like Valentina is Joanna Kryptonite. That's how I personally feel. And I feel like she's so much so Joanna Kryptonite, she was able to transfer some of that fucking Kryptonite into Rose. And Rose was able to go from... you know, a lot of people were counting Rose out before she fought for the title because, you know, like all the way out because she just hadn't fought the top competition. She hadn't beat the best girls in the world. I mean, she hadn't proven herself as one of the best. But once she trained with Valentina Shevchenko, goddamn, Rose went from being counted out to being looked at now as people don't even think Jessica Andrade has a, you know, a lot of people feel like Jessica Andrade doesn't have much of a chance against Rose. And I think it has a lot to do with how she beat Joanna. And I think she got that from Valentina. Now, I say that because Valentina Shevchenko, I think on stand-up, she's got her covered. She beat her 3 times in Muay Thai. I don't know what Joanna has done to match the stand-up. So you're like, okay, can Valentina beat her on the ground? Because that's the only other place this fight can go. It's like, who is Joanna submitted? I'm actually going to pull up her record. I don't know if she has any submission wins. And if she doesn't, she might have 1 or something, right? But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Even if she has 1 or 2 submission wins, she's not going to fucking I don't think she submits Valentina because Valentina Shevchenko literally has an armbar submission over Juliana Pena at bantamweight. She was out grappling some of the better bantamweight grapplers. I mean, I just don't see it. I just don't see much of a chance. But it's like she has a better chance than Nico Montano, but how much? I mean, there's really not much of a path to victory.
a lot more than Montano, for sure. But no,
yeah,
definitely,
but it's like
she's
how much?
A big underdog in this.
Like realistically,
okay, well, I mean, we got
she got 1 submission win.
Name.
So.
I mean, she is one of the horsemen. You're comparing her to someone who only just about won the tough finale. So, I mean, there's definitely a big disparity there. But I mean, again, she's going to be a big underdog. But I mean, it wouldn't be the biggest upset in the world if she managed to outpoint her and get a 5-round decision. I mean, she did in a sense outpoint Rose in the sense that she landed more strikes because Rose got that takedown in the 5th round, which helped secure that round and obviously the victory because it was 2-2 going into the 5th round. So it's not unfeasible that she could beat her over 5 rounds just by maybe outstriking her. Probably wouldn't be maybe doing damage, getting knockdowns, and maybe getting a submission. I don't think it'd be anything like that, but she has a chance. It's just she'd be a massive underdog. Like I wouldn't be surprised if she was like a plus 250 underdog, which would be kind of crazy for someone.
I think it's got to be bigger than that. If it's plus 250, I'm putting money on Valentina. But no, you do got a good point. I mean, if you look at the second fight, like technically, Joanna did land more significant strikes. If you look at the fight metrics, I mean, she did. That's true, but. Yeah,
those are mainly down to leg kicks. So I mean, watching the fight, you knew that Rose was winning, but I mean, the fight metrics obviously sometimes do tell a different story. But
yeah,
that's just how the way the fights go. To be honest,
John Taylor said Joanna's going to show her wrestling and tap the bullet out, and that's the thing. I know Joanna's no scrub. She's well rounded. She's got solid wrestling, great takedown defense, and trained at American Top Team. I know she's got good wrestling, but this is the thing: wrestling against a bigger person is already hard enough. You know what I'm saying? Like. And Valentina's clearly going to be the bigger fighter coming into this fight. I feel like, and I mean, she is. She formerly fought at 135. She can't make 115, but Joanna did have a tough weight cut to 115. It's not like she's just a small, super small for the division. So Joanna's going to be a decently sized flyweight. But with that being said, I just think even the fact that Valentina used to fight at 135 and she's grappled with bigger girls and she's submitted Juliana Pena, I think if Joanna wins, it's going to be kind of like Forward said. It's going to be like she's going to get a decision, whether she's going to have to like outpoint her, and it's going to might be a fucking robbery type deal. Like, but it's going to be a tough fight. And I mean, yeah, clearly she's not Nico Montano, but as far as a path to victory, I don't see many of those for Joanna. But yeah, I'm going to be definitely looking forward to like what's the video called? Like a fucking keys to success or something on this fight for Joanna, because I just don't see much.
Sure. I mean, one thing I'm looking forward to is the press conference. I mean, hopefully they do one for Toronto because I just want to see like the dynamic between the two because normally JJ's always been like the more like braggadocious. I mean, even in the rematch against Roche, she was still kind of giving him the one up. But when you lost someone 3 times in dominant fashion, like it's kind of like you can't really outdo them in the mental game. So that's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, man, that is gonna be like you can't say the boogie woman is coming for you, Valentina. It's like, bitch, I already whooped your ass 3 times, and I trained Rose to beat you twice. What? Like that would I don't know what. Yeah, dude, that is. I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, I'm gonna be looking forward to that. That's gonna be an interesting dynamic for sure coming into that fight. Stamina says, I don't think she'll be perceivably bigger, not as far as Suarez levels of difference anyway. Yeah, I don't think she's going to be way bigger. I mean, I think Valentina will be a little bigger, but yeah, I mean, Joanna was a big strawweight, and Valentina was a smaller bantamweight, so they're going to be closer in size than people might think. But I think even as far as skill-wise is concerned, Joanna's only chance is going to be to stand with Valentina. It's definitely not going to be grappling. And so with the stand-up, she's going to have to, try and outpoint Valentina, but good fucking luck. I mean, Valentina Shevchenko is, I don't know, I just think she's on another level, so we will see. Valentine T says, we need a new Snoop song using Rap Black Devil backing track, please. Stamina MC says, I don't think, oh yeah, I read that one. Cam Murphy says, oh no, but if you look at her arms, her shoulders and waist is a bit bigger, but yeah, not a big bitch. Yeah, and she's going to be a little thicker. I don't think Valentina could make 115, but they're going to be closer in size than you might think. But I think as far, I'm curious to see, they probably don't yet, what the odds would be for that fight. I'm very curious because I think Joanna and Jedrzejczyk should probably be a pretty, I don't know, if you're a hardcore fan, you know the history of the Muay Thai fights, and you know how she's trained with Rose and who ended up beating Joanna. And you know Valentina's history of out-grappling bantamweights and shit. I don't see much past the victory for Joanna here. But, hey, man, still going to be a good fight. And like Forward pointed out, man, that press conference is going to be fun as fuck. How's Joanna going to come in? She's usually the boogie woman, the braggadocious one. And against Valentina, she's probably going to have to come into that fight really humble. But, so, with that being said, the other fights on the dais, one that's coming up soon, and we'll talk about these before we get into UFC 229. What are your thoughts on Mousasi versus Macdonald?
I mean, can we just admit that if Macdonald beats Mousasi, I think you kind of have to give him, he's up there with pound for pound in terms of best pound for pound fighters in the world right now. I mean, if he was to go up and beat the 185 champion, I mean, then he has a win over the 170 champion and the 185 champion. That would, for his resume, that would, I mean, I'm not one of those people that completely ignore the fact that he did lose to people that Woodley's decisively beaten since. But for his record, just the names that he would have on it in terms of victories, it would be pretty amazing, sir. But I mean, having said that, I like to kind of forecast what it would be like if this person wins a fight, because I don't actually see him finding a way to beat Mousasi, as you would like to say is the GOAT. Even though I do highly dispute that, and I think Bisping's the GOAT, we can agree that they're both up there in terms of their GOAT. I mean, let's just be real right now. I mean, we can change topic completely. We all know Bisping would beat Mousasi if they actually ended the fight.
Are especially you when fucking loony? There's no way you're serious.
Oh no, we gotta put this in the chat. I mean, I'm sure the chat knows what's up with
oh, dude, you know what you just did with that conversation. I was listening to your debate earlier. You know, the Wilder and the Joshua. You're clearly just biased. You know, you're clearly biased. There's no way. Oh my lord, Mousasi's beating GSP today at 185. It's not even close, bro. I'll give you my breakdown on this fight. Rory McDonald don't have a chance, and that's no disrespect to Rory McDonald, but Gegard is the motherfucking GOAT, the Moose, whatever you want to call him. Gegard is not about to lose this fight to a damn welterweight. It's just not going down like that, and it's not, like I said, no slight to Rory McDonald. He's a beast. He's got to win over Tyron Woodley. Respect on his name. He's a great welterweight. He's the Bellator welterweight champion, and probably the favorite to win the welterweight Grand Prix. But we're talking about motherfucking Gegard Mousasi right now. This guy's 32 years old with 50 fucking pro fights. He submitted Mark Hunt at heavyweight, fought at light heavyweight, fought at middleweight, and you're talking about motherfucking Michael Bisping? Come on, dude. Gegard Mousasi's
Before you go any further, before you go any further, let's put it to the chat. Hey, put a 1 in chat if you think Bisping knocks out Mousasi, or put a 2 in chat if you think Mousasi gets a lucky decision somehow.
Lucky decision. One in the
to be
chat if
perfectly
you
honest,
think
but
Bisping can fucking lightning only doesn't strike twice. He got his luck with Luke Rockhold. It's not happening again to Mousasi. Holy shit!
you think I was lucky? Hey, come on. I mean, did you not hear the stories about Bisping whooping Rockhold's ass in training? I mean, full time. Come on, man.
Oh Lord, no. Stephanie, she says Ford just jumped out the fucking window naked and blindfolded. Bisping, fuck off. Yo, what are you talking about? Yo, see that? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't see. Cam Murphy says she's sticking with Rory to win. Gegard is great though. Okay. Cam Murphy rolling with Rory. See, I'm a big Gegard fan. I honestly, I think Gegard gets it done. But yeah, no. But what you did say though, if Rory does win this fight, he's pound for pound like across UFC, Bellator, like that would be huge in my mind. Because you clearly see how I feel about Gegard. So if Rory could win this fight at middleweight, Gegard, it's not like he fucking left the UFC because he was trash. He was on a 5-fight winning streak coming off a win over Chris Weidman and when he went to Bellator. So he's got wins over top middleweights in the UFC. Never got his title shot. One of the best middleweights in the world. One of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Fought at multiple weight classes.
Also got a loss against Uriah Hall. Just throwing that in there. But yeah, continue.
No, you can't just say that. You can't just say that. The motherfucking got Uriah Hall knocked out Gegard Mousasi with a lucky-ass spin kick that probably hasn't knocked anybody else out. And he's got some fun spin kicks he might have, but Gegard, like, ducked into it. He, like, ran his head into it. It was accidental. It was not... That was a fucking accidental KO. Ain't no just he lost to Uriah. And by the way, in the rematch, he dominated Uriah Hall. Fuck out of here.
Hey, British sarcasm is a beautiful thing, man.
Yo, super fucking hilarious. No, but yeah, man, that Mousasi versus Macdonald fight, this whole card is stacked, man. Rampage versus Vanderlei. What are your thoughts on that, man? I actually want to see it. I think someone's going to sleep.
I mean, other than me just saying Rampage is going to knock out Vanderlei, again, I don't... To be honest, he did win his first 2 fights, right? But I feel like that was a long time ago. I feel like that was a different Vanderlei. I mean, not trying to say he did PEDs. He did PEDs for sure.
Twice before losing.
Yeah, that's true. And to be fair, even Cho looked very good against... he made Rampage look pretty average in their last fight. But again, if I were to put my money on anyone, I'd probably put it on Rampage knocking him out.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Rampage, man. That's my boy, so I'm rooting for Rampage 100%. There. I agree. I just think it's going to be a good fight. You know, neither one of them really want to fight a wrestler that's going to hold them down, so they get to fight each other. Perfect matchup. It's not like either one of them's going against the young, hungry killer, like they're outmatched. I think it's just going to be a good fight between, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like Rampage... It's like, you know, a Mexican and a black family, right? They're having like a quinceañera, and like the 2 toughest dudes at the quinceañera throw down, like, you know, grandpas. Like, all right, you get the point. But yeah, no, you know, these guys aren't in their prime for sure, but it's going to be a fun fight. If this fight happened, if it broke out at a barbecue or something, you'd watch that shit. So don't tell me you ain't going to watch this fight because it's in Bellator. But yeah, somebody said to pull up Gegard Mousasi's record, and I had no problem. Look at this. He fucking beat Alexander Shevchenko with 1 eye, fucking knocked out the champ Rafael Carvalho in the first round, beat Chris Weidman, Uriah Hall in the rematch, knocked him out in the first round. This motherfucker was on a 4-fight TKO spree in the middleweight division before coming to Bellator. Are you fucking crazy? This is not... Gegard Mousasi's got to be the most underrated fighter in the fucking world, dude. Lost to Uriah Hall, doesn't count. Lost to Jacare, though that counts. I mean, he lost to Jacare, he beat Jacare. His fights with Jacare were good as fuck. But that's a tough fighter. And it was a younger Jacare as well in his prime. And before that, he fought Lyoto Machida. He lost that fight. And I forget, was that I think he feels like he got robbed. I don't know. But now Machida just signed with Bellator, so we could potentially see that rematch. Got a win over Ealer, Latifi, OSP way back in the fucking day. He wasn't getting easy fights. When you're getting easy fights, they don't put you against people like fucking OSP and shit early in your career. But you know, he's been since even before the UFC fighting motherfuckers like Muhammad Lawal. Took that loss to the talented wrestler, but he fought big ass Gary Goodridge at heavyweight. Muhammad Lawal, that was at 205, I'm pretty sure. He fucking Mark Hunt down here back in 2009, heavyweight, submitted him with the arm bar over there in fucking Dream. It was like open weight. It says a featherweight Grand Prix, but that was like open weight. Mousasi fighting a heavyweight. Right before he submitted fucking Mark Hunt, he knocked out Jacare with the up kick. Melvin Manhoof way back in. Look at all these goddamn fights. Cyborg Santos back in the day. This dude was fighting like 10 times a fucking year. He's got 50. Look, Hector Lombard back in 2006. It never fucking stops. And you can look at these guys' records, and you're not going to see like a 0-5. This dude has been fucking fighting guys with winning records the whole time. Never fucking stopped. Doesn't get the recognition. It's all good, though, because Gegard's the GOAT, and he's about to show you guys with this win because no one gives him credit. People fucking have the nerve to say, oh, he lost the Shevchenko fight. He fucking fought with one eye! All right, my bad. That's my Gegard.
Wait, let me just clarify because I don't want people to get it twisted. I do rate Mousasi. Yeah, of course he's a great fighter. He's got a great record. I would have loved to see him against Whittaker because I think he would have been a bad matchup for Whittaker, but does he beat Bisping? I mean, obviously not Bisping. I mean, nobody beat Bisping. Nobody could beat Bisping in his prime.
He said, no, like, let's be real. I think he could probably beat Whittaker, but can he beat Bisping? All right. All right, man. All right, so Bellator 205, Mousasi versus Macdonald, man. Insane. Rampage versus Vanderlei, that's going to be fun. Lima versus Koreshkov, that's a trilogy fight. That's going down, and that's kicking off the welterweight Grand Prix that Rory's also in. He's got 2 fights coming up. 2 fights booked at the same time. Aaron Pico, Leandro Higo, that's a great fight. I'm going to be dropping my breakdown and predictions on that after this. But we can look at the 2 big fights now, man, that I really wanted to talk about. McGregor and Khabib and Pettis versus Ferguson. What are your thoughts on Pettis versus Ferguson first? Well, actually, didn't you say you wanted to talk about O'Malley and Quinones or no? You want to do that after later?
I didn't get a chance to do my research on that because a coach kind of hit me up on that.
That was like
on the spot go time, so. Oh, 100%. That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on Pettis versus Ferguson?
First of all, the UFC need to incorporate 5-round fights, man, like for non-title fights, because there's certain fights, like, don't get me wrong, there need to be a consensus on it, you need to both agree, but once you get fights to agree, there's no reason why this fight shouldn't be a 5-round fight. Just like, I mean, I always go back to the Lawler-Cerrone fight when they fought, I can't remember which pay-per-view it was, but that fight had to be 5 rounds because it got to the 3rd round and everyone was like, this has been a good fight, but where's the last 2 rounds? It's just, certain fights, they need those 5 rounds, and this is another one, but that aside, I mean, even if this being a 3-round fight helps Pettis that a little bit more, but again, this is probably his worst matchup in the top 5 in terms of who he could face, because someone he's got the wrestling, who probably will want to stand and bang for a bit, but Tony is durable. He's got the ability to take you to the ground, literally by grabbing your neck and throwing you to the ground and submitting you. So, yeah, as long as Tony is okay. I mean, personally, as long as Tony is fully fit from his injury, I don't see any reason why he would have any trouble with Pettis. And that's a full due respect to Pettis, who looked great against Keith. He looked like his old self, but I feel like Tony's just a step too far, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, I don't know if I've heard that. You're not the only one that said that. I don't know if I agree that this is a terrible matchup for Pettis. I think this is, you look at the top 5, and I have it on the screen, I think this is probably, if Pettis is going to fight a top 5 guy, this is his best matchup. I think Pettis would have a really hard time with Kevin Lee and Eddie Alvarez with their wrestling, and they, Kevin Lee's got good jiu-jitsu. You're not just going to choke him down once he takes you down. So I think Kevin Lee and Khabib, those are terrible matchups for Pettis. Alvarez, he's solid. He can take damage. So I mean, even if you're probably not going to be able to knock out Alvarez, so you're going to have to beat him by decision. But he's got some solid wrestling, and I don't know, Alvarez, I don't think that's a great matchup for Pettis. I'd like to see that fight though. And then Poirier, dangerous, man. I don't know if that's a good matchup. I mean, this is you got to think also. This is like the most stacked division. You said what? Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Poirier. That's not a good matchup for him. And he already beat him. So, shit. If Pettis is gonna make it into the top 5 without just an immediate title shot, I think Ferguson is his best way to do it. And that's still a hard ass fight. I mean, I'm not even saying he's gonna beat Ferguson, but I'm just saying in the top 5, in my opinion, that might be his best matchup. And even that, I mean, we'll see if he can win. But he's got some good jiu-jitsu. He's not just going to be a slouch on the ground. Ferguson is more well-rounded. Maybe he has better stand-up, but we have seen Tony Ferguson get tagged up a little bit, and we've seen him rocked, and of course he always finds a way to weather through the storm, kind of like Kevin Lee. He did the stanky leg for sure, but he won the fight, and that's what matters. But we've seen Tony Ferguson hurt. I mean, Lando Venata, not even just the Lando, that wasn't the first time, honestly. But I think Pettis, he can rock Tony Ferguson, and if he can capitalize before Tony Ferguson recovers, that could be a way he wins. He could catch Ferguson in a submission. It's not easy. Ferguson has great jiu-jitsu, but it can happen. So does Chiesa. He just submitted Chiesa with the triangle arm bar. So I think this is a winnable fight for Pettis. I think he's the underdog, but I think this is actually a winnable fight. I really like this matchup.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, I was thinking who's got more of a chance, Joanna or Pettis, but I feel like I need to pay a bit more respect to Pettis just because, I mean, the first of all, he hasn't lost 3 times to Ferguson, so that's already a one-up. But in the sense that he has looked better, he did look a lot better against Casey. He's obviously got really good jiu-jitsu and really good striking, so that's a good combo you don't see many people actually have. I mean, he's kind of missing the bit in between, which is the wrestling, but he's definitely got a chance in there. You know what? This fight is great. It's an amazing fight. I can't wait to actually see them fight.
Yeah, I agree.
It's almost like one thing that is missing in my back of my mind, and it's like, what are they really fighting for? Because this should be a #1 contender fight, but we kind of already know that they're not gonna get the next fight. Just I mean, if Khabib wins, maybe, but then I just feel like GSP's gonna swoop in, and then what are they really fighting for? What? Just to then fight the winner of Poirier Diaz? I mean, maybe are they gonna go up to 165? I mean, you kind of think what's really going to happen next in the division. So, but I mean, that aside, there's nothing wrong with this fight. It's an amazing fight.
Yeah, I agree. And no, that is a great point. Like, what are they really fighting for? You know, because you got Poirier and Diaz. You got so many guys that could be fighting for the title. Kevin Lee's still waiting on a fight. He'll probably be fighting Gaethje, though. I think that's going to be happening. But, yeah, the win. If Tony Ferguson, like, what happens, and I think we know the answer, but this is, I suppose, the question. What happens if Ferguson wins, and then what happens if Diaz wins? You think Tony Ferguson gets the next title shot even though he was the interim champion? Or do you think Nate Diaz would get it? And, oh, by the way, that's not counting if GSP wants to come down. and then, I mean, and then maybe they fight each other.
I mean, my theory is that GSP comes down and then it would be Tony versus Diaz for the interim strap. But it'll be interesting if GSP doesn't come down because I'll be like, well, I mean, I keep thinking in my mind Conor's going to win, and then I don't know what Conor's going to do. Probably fight Mayweather again or something stupid. But let's just picture Khabib wins. There's a bit more order there.
Yeah.
Then who would get the shot, Tony or Diaz? And I have no idea. I mean, I guess maybe Tony, but then would Dana want to book that fight for like 700 time and then it was that again? So it's crazy, man. But there's options, which is good.
Would not want to fight Khabib at 155?
Oh no, I think GSP's coming down regardless. Like,
regardless, okay.
I just have a feeling he's coming down. No matter what happens, he's already done a test cut. It's pretty well documented. He's done a test cut. He's got down to 160, so he can make and he feels he can make the extra five pounds. So I feel like regardless, GSP, there's even a chance GSP could even step into the cage fight now after Conor or Khabib wins, and then they make the fight on the spot. I mean, we're hoping there a bit, but I mean, maybe we're going a bit too much WWE there. I don't think he's going to do a Brock Lesnar and say, I'm not impressed by your performance and that shit again. But that was epic time. I need to even watch that live and just see like, the moment he stepped in there and said, I'm not impressed with your performance. But, nah, for sure. Hey, for sure. I mean, it's looking great, man. It's looking great in that division.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's going to be this. It's a crazy time right now to see because it's like I mean, if Lee versus Gaethje was booked, we'd have a fucking 8-man lightweight tournament right now, honestly. That we've got 6 lightweights fighting right now, and they're all legit contenders. Between Poirier versus Diaz, Ferguson versus Pettis, Khabib versus McGregor, that's 6 lightweights. You book one more lightweight fight, and you can call that a fucking lightweight Grand Prix. But, of course, GSP can come in and you throw off the whole Grand Prix. But still, I mean, you got some... This division is insane. So, yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this Pettis versus Ferguson fight. I think, yeah, Tony Ferguson is one of the best lightweights in the world, interim champion, shit like that. But, man, for some reason, I can't count Pettis out of this fight. And, yeah, as far as does he have a better chance than Joanna, I think that's for sure. But, and maybe, who knows, man? We'll see. But now let's say this. Now, what if Pettis wins? What if he wins? That'd be crazy. Like, what happens?
I mean, he'd be on a 2-fight win streak. So, I mean, he couldn't get the title shot next year, you would assume, right? I mean, UFC's crazy, but not that crazy. You feel like he'd have to do a little bit more, but it'd be an amazing victory. The thing is, us hardcores and the general media will probably kind of taint his victory by saying that, oh, it wasn't the same Tony Ferguson. I mean, we'll kind of go along that line, but it'll still be an amazing victory. So he'll probably have to do one more fight before he's kind of in the realm of getting a title shot. But I mean, nobody knows what a title shot is anymore, especially in the Conor McGregor division, because that division is crazy, man.
Man, regardless, either way, we're gonna have some crazy, like, because like even the loser of this fight, like, could fight like the loser of Lee versus Gaethje. Like, I'm just glad all these dudes are back and fighting. I mean, McGregor's back, Khabib's back, Ferguson's healthy. All these dudes are gonna be fighting regardless, man. We're gonna have some crazy fights coming up this next year on ESPN and shit. And it's gonna, man, it's gonna be so weird, that transition. We can talk about that a little later, but I mean, that's gonna be weird, like seeing how this whole ESPN. I hope you can still just stream all this shit, like ESPN Plus cards. I ain't got ESPN Plus. I hope I can just still stream all this. Like, I hope, but we'll see. But this lightweight division is crazy right now. So, we'll talk about this. This will probably be the last one we talk about before I get out of here and make sure I haven't heard no fighting downstairs. So I think everything's in order. But still, we've been live for about an hour and a half. So we'll do this, and then Stamina. I don't know if you were here or not, or if you'll be here during the live shows on the weekdays, but I want to start doing like a daily co-host, like where at least one other person is talking about the news topics with me. So if you're down for that, I wanted to let you know, because I don't know if you're here when we did it before, but yeah. But so what are your thoughts on, we'll talk about the press conference first, the McGregor versus Khabib press conference.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, shout out Stamina MC, flipping dope ass guy, but damn, man, that press conference was dark. I mean, Dana took the words like you out of my mouth. That press conference was crazy. I mean, so the feeling that I got from that was Conor had a different kind of energy from normal. I mean, it was a lot more personal for him. It was a lot more like he was almost amping himself up too much to try and get under the person's skin, similar to Mayweather. But I mean, it's kind of hard to get under someone's skin when they kind of know that they're going to beat you just because they're kind of I'm doing GOAT of the sport. He's not my GOAT, but people will have him as the GOAT. But yeah, so it's hard to get under his skin in that sense. But he's kind of doing that. It had the same kind of vibe, because Khabib, he's not going to give much away. He kind of came with the whole stoic face kind of thing. So from when he was kind of bringing up the whole liquor and why you don't drink, there wasn't much that he was getting under Khabib's skin with. But no, that press conference was amazing. Definitely one of the best ones I've seen, and that's just because it's McGregor. So yeah,
I was just saying, what if Joanna comes out like McGregor and she like has all this dirt, like, and she's like, I heard about that fucking abortion, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if she comes out with some dirt and she just makes you, Valentina, want to beat her up that much more? Because I was thinking about that when you were saying, like, there's not much you can say to someone, like, to get under the skin that's going to beat your ass. And it's like, and I was thinking, like, what can Joanna do to get under Valentina's skin? Is it possible? And she had to come out with some
I can actually imagine her flipping up with something like that, man. JJ's crazy, man.
That'd be crazy, dude. Like, I honestly can't wait. I want to see if she has any trash talk for that fight. Like, if she's going to muster it up. Because she's been pretty persistent about being the same, playing the same character. Like, talking about Rose must bow down. And, like, so I want to see her energy against Valentina. Like, how do you talk trash? Corey says, Dana's about money. That's what makes the shit so funny. I saw Tony Time earlier. We definitely got to play Tony Time, man. We broke Tony Ferguson versus Pettis all the way down. I can't wait for this fight. This whole card is insane, man. We got to do a few more panels just talking about this whole card, dude. Like, and that's another thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, what was your biggest takeaway from the press? So, like, what one line was like, damn, that line was cold. Because there was a lot in there. I mean, there was
one of the main ones that really stood out to me was whenever he was like, he stood up and he was like, he said something right before it too that stood out, but he was like, I forget the line he said before. Like, he said he's a tough guy in numbers or something. He was like, he's a strong man in numbers. He's something, want my location. I'm right here. Here's my location. Do something. I was like, damn, kind of put him in a corner there. Now, I don't expect Khabib to fucking go crazy and ruin the fight. But whenever, you're talking about send me location, and he's like, my location's right here. Do something. I mean, that one stood out to me, but the shit where that kind of really stood out. I mean, when he started getting fucking political and talking about, Putin and Magomedov, I was kind of clenching my butt cheeks a little bit, like, oh shit, is Khabib about to get up and ruin all this? Like, Conor was pressing buttons, and I was like, I don't know how much more of this shit Khabib's gonna sit through before he fucking bull rushes through Dana White. And man, yeah. I mean, it was just so many. Like, I agree. This might be the best UFC press conference I've saw in a long time. I don't want to say of all time because it's an in the moment type thing, but man, I can't think of one right now. That shit was epic. And then I'm not even a fashion dude, but I don't give a fuck. Whenever he said McGregor August, I was like, that shit is hard. He had the McGregor August. Like, that shit is hard. Yo, he killed that shit. But there's multiple times. What stood out the most to you? Was it some of the darker shit he said, or was it one of the like funny lines? And then, of course, the whole fucking proper 12 stood out. But, man.
No, for sure. The funny thing was the whole, when Khabib was asking him, you must ask your friend why he held slap like a woman. That shit was funny. But the fact that he kept asking the question and then Conor was like diverting from the question, it was kind of funny. But you know what stood out probably most to me was after was the face off, and then what he said to Ali Abdelaziz. Because I didn't know all the story about him and then his son Noah, the fact that he used to be an agent for the FBI, like shit. I didn't know that shit goes
double agent and shit. Like he got recruited out of jail to be like an informant, and then he like flipped on the NYPD, so he was a double agent. So he was kind of working for him, but also doing some shit on the side. And then on top of that, he didn't even just bring up that part. He even brought up Noah. Like, those were two separate things. He brought up a son and shit that, you know, and stuff. And I'm pretty sure it was my boy Jorge One. Salute to Jorge One. But I think he sent me the details and with the Instagram page of Noah Abdelaziz. And he seemed like he was doing fine. You know, it ain't like he's out here can't afford school clothes and shit. Like, he seemed like he was doing good, but still, you know, there's probably some child support that Ali owes his mom, and you know how that goes. Even if she can afford, she's got that over your head. You gonna pay? When's my child support coming? I mean, I know how that goes because my mom's had that shit on my dad for like 18 years, and even today, every time she sees him, it's funny because like they see, I don't know, but yeah. So I mean, it's not a situation where Noah's in a bad spot. But it's still information we had no clue about, you know, personal shit. We're like, whoa, what's going on? But yeah, that on top of, I didn't know any of that about Ali either. That shit kind of, and that's one of the things Dana talked about. He was like, that's kind of why I didn't want fans here. Like, I didn't even want that to happen with Ali. Like, these guys, teammates, I got to keep their teammates apart, let alone the fucking fans. Like, what do you think would have happened? For one, fans would have been drunk on proper 12. For two, the shit was crossing lines. Kind of started getting political. Like, there could have been a Russian fan, you know, a diehard Putin fan out there. Like, don't you ever speak about Putin or Magomedov, and you know what I'm saying, on some suicide bomber type shit. That's a joke. I probably shouldn't joke, but I'm just saying, like, they could have took that shit serious. They could have took it serious if Conor started talking about Magomedov and all of that shit. And the Conor fans would have been like, yeah, you know, they're drunk off proper. Yeah, fuck him. Well, fuck. And oh my God, that crowd would have been, holy shit. And then the teams, like, man, that would have been some security issues there, I think. I think that had a big reason why the fans weren't allowed in. And Dana said that as well. Like, they can barely keep their fucking crews from going at it. Imagine the fans, and especially Conor telling you bring 2 bottles of proper 12. That shit is strong. He took like 3 shots and he was starting to slur his words. He was fucked up. And I'm going to see if there's some proper 12 where I live. I don't know if it's fucking made it to Kansas yet. But I believe it might have been Jorge One as well, if I'm not mistaken. He said that he was going to try and get us a bottle. So I got to find if they have it in my town, and he's going to, you know, try and get it. And if we do, man, I'm going to try that shit out, and I'm going to have to do that shit on stream, man. I hope I don't get as drunk as Conor McGregor and go crazy, but at the same time, I kind of hope I do. No, but what if somebody joked, and they said that shit's probably laced with cocaine? That's fucking funny.
That was me, yo. I said that in our group chat. I'm hella sure it's laced with cocaine, bro.
and yeah, man, you know, like Coca-Cola used to be flavored. It used to have cocaine in Coca-Cola, like, way back in the day. Now it's just kind of flavored with coca leaves, I believe. Still to this day, it's flavored like that. I was like, man, Conor McGregor shit has to be at least flavored with coca leaves, even if it don't have cocaine in it. But it would be funny if somebody, like, drank some of that shit and failed a drug test for cocaine.
Oh, you come up with a lot of shit, man. Yo, actually, you know, this is one thing I was thinking of during the press conference, like, I wasn't that I mean, I was obviously that the responses were crazy, but I wasn't happy with the questions. And like, there's certain questions that I wanted to ask. I wanted to know if there's a question that you would have loved to have asked if you were in the audience. Then one I wanted to ask is get Conor's like opinion on how the division's been, because you know how Conor can be when he rips the other fighters, but he doesn't like to talk. He doesn't like to bring their name up because he doesn't want to give them the notoriety. But I would love to have like got his feelings or like how he felt about the whole 223 disaster, like thoughts on Tony Ferguson. He did talk about the Poirier Diaz fight, I guess, but I would have liked to hear a little bit more about that. And even also, mainly, the main thing I wanted to hear about him say is what his future plans are, because no one talked about, oh, is he just here to defend the belt once? Is this just here for a grudge match, or does he want to live up to his word, which he said before, the ALDO fight, which is, oh, I want to be a reigning champion who defends 3-4 times a year. I mean, obviously, I don't think that's going to happen, but I want to at least hear him say, okay, I don't want to do that, but I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to go up to 170 maybe. I want to get 4 belts, all the belts. Something.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because
yeah,
I was having a hard time thinking of a real good question that I would like to, I mean, aside from like boxers or briefs. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was thinking though, like, pause. Yeah. No, maybe like what you said toward the end. I was like, I would probably ask him, like, does he have any thoughts about, like, what are his thoughts on Tyron Woodley? Because I know they got into it that one time, backstage. And GSP, now he's talking about, like, making history and fighting for a 3rd belt. So I would like to ask him if he's thought about fighting for that 3rd belt, if that crosses his mind. Because a lot of the fights I've heard for Conor McGregor, potential future fights, they've really been a lightweight. And I know he's talked about all of the belts. So, yeah, I would just like to know if he's thought about fighting at 170. And if so, would he fight Woodley? And if so, what did he think about Woodley's new song? No. But, yeah. But yeah, that's one thing. What did you say?
What do you think about Woodley's song?
Ah, beat your ass. Ah, beat your ass. Ah, beat your ass. That's my shit, man. Something like a black belt.
Catchy,
something. Yeah, I listened to that. I was gonna remix it, man. I hop on the remix. He said they're already doing one. No, but yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I think he had a whole mixtape out before that. I haven't heard it though. But yeah, man, I mean...
Yo, wait, did you hear about his challenge? Yo, on some real shit. Did you hear about his challenge? I think, like, him and Wiz Khalifa are giving 20K to whoever makes the dopest remix. Like, yo,
no.
You on the real talks. Yo, check it out on his page. I haven't seen it on his page, but I know he did an interview and he was talking about that. So, I don't know when they've actually released it.
I will enter that motherfucker so fast.
You need to check that out, bro. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see if I can find the page of this.
That would be crazy.
Because... that would be crazy, yo, bro.
Woodley, I'll beat your ass challenge. That's probably not what it's called. But yeah, no, if he did that, man, I was looking for an instrumental. I was gonna remix it just for fun on UFC Yankovic. But so yeah, man. So that's the press conference, and yeah, I think the press conference was epic. I do wonder too. I wonder if they're gonna do a press conference with like anybody else from it. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted my boy, you know, I want to see how my boy Sugar Show would do up there on the days. Now he's not even on the pay-per-view, you know, he's the main event of the Fox Sports 1's prelims, which actually, I think he'll probably still end up being on the pay-per-view, even though this is a better spot for him. There's more eyes on the Fox Sports prelims. I mean, but I think and I don't want to jinx the card, but I think we'll probably lose one fight. I don't know what it's gonna be.
Oh, no.
Not McGregor versus Nurmagomedov. I think we lose one fight.
Yo, so I put this in the group chat. I saw someone did a parody account of Ariel Helwani, and they said that breaking news: Khabib's out with an ACL, blah de da de da, looking for a replacement. So literally, my heart stopped for a good piece. I was like, oh, bro,
they put what?
I think it's in the group chat if you see it now. But there was like, oh, Ariel Helwani reporting. Khabib's out of the UFC 229 bout with McGregor with an ACL injury. We're looking for a new opponent now, but it's looking bleak or something like that. And it was just like, damn.
Oh,
but I wondered to myself, why is they were trolling. I was like,
okay.
damn, wait. I was like, why has my phone not been blowing up?
Yeah, that would have been crazy. Jorge wants this good question. You're quoted as saying in 2014 Khabib would be the champ, but now he's paper champion. Speaking of paper champions, why do you cherry pick fights and never defend your belts? Holy shit. Wouldn't that be hilarious to set the press conference on fire like that? Oh my God. Oh,
I wish there was someone like that.
You'd probably get fucking stripped of your media credentials so quick, you would never be asking another question. That would be crazy to just go in there. So you say you've never lost a round, but leading up to this fight, I was doing my research, and I came across the Gleason-Tebow match. Do you think you didn't lose any of those rounds, even if you won the fight? You don't think you lost any of those rounds? Like, he just set the shit on fire. Oh, my Lord. And speaking of fakes, why'd you bring fake belts to the presser? No, I can answer that one for you. He brought fake belts to the presser because he's still the champ. Like, they're fake, but they're real. Because he'll always be the champ. Now, is he the current reigning, defending? No, but he's definitely still the champ. No, but other than that, that would be hilarious to set the press conference on fire like that. Yo, oh my Lord. That's funny. Like those questions never get asked so much that didn't even cross my mind to just set the press conference on fire like that. Man, but yeah, I mean, other than that, the other fights, I mean, we'll talk about those more coming up. But I see we've got somebody else in here, Mod on what's going on, Mod? You trying to talk some MMA? We're actually gonna be getting out of here soon. You got any thoughts on any of these fights we've talked about? I don't know if your mic's muted or what's up. I don't know. We got somebody else on the Google Hangout, but I don't. Oh, he just muted his mic. Now he unmuted it. What's going on, Ma? You got anything to say? You just here listening, just chilling. All right. I guess he's just chilling. Okay. All right.
I think he's talking, but he hasn't sorted out sound there. So yeah, but yo, shout out Infamous MMA. I don't know why he's not on the panel, but I'm definitely looking forward to hearing his views on the Khabib Conor fight because man, I'm almost undecided.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost undecided on how. I mean, we can go straight to obviously the breakdown of how we thought the fight's gonna go. But I mean, every time I want to like go back to reason, which is Khabib should maul him, I always feel I can't count out McGregor. And of course, there's always the same. All right, so my main thing with this fight is right. We obviously know he's got the grappling, he's got the striking and whatnot, right? The main like thing that's gonna dictate the fight for me, how I see the fight going, is who actually controls the distance because. There's one thing actually being in charge of where the fight goes, and in terms of you've got the better striking, so you're in control. But it's actually being like you're dominating the fight in terms of your ring generalship. You're the one controlling distance. You get what I'm saying? Like in the sense that people will say, oh, on paper Till has the best striking than Woodley, and yeah, he does. But Woodley was always controlling that fight on the feet, even in terms of obviously the takedown pressure, the fact that he was always getting into the clinch, and he was the one landing more strikes, and he always had Till hesitant to come in. And the things that he was throwing was always getting a really big reaction out of Till. Now, looking at this fight, I'm thinking he's going to be the one that's going to be getting a reaction out of the other fighter. Now, is Khabib going to be the one pressing Conor back for the first 20 seconds until maybe he gets a takedown or gets knocked down or whatever? That's kind of what I want to know what's going to happen. And I mean, for me, how I see it happening is I see Conor backing Khabib up. I see him keeping him long, and I see Khabib like kind of waiting for his moment to then die for the leg, and eventually he will. And then that's when I think the fight's going to break out into Khabib Conor stopping the takedowns, and then from there we'll see what happens. But it's a fascinating fight, and yeah, if I was to give a prediction and cut the long story short right now, I see McGregor by a third round early TKO, but I wouldn't rule out a submission. As wild as it is, I wouldn't. Hey, there we go, my boy, Infamous. But yeah, I wouldn't rule out a submission for whatever reason. I wouldn't rule it out.
Wouldn't that be crazy? I feel like Khabib's gonna quit on the stool after he gets his ass whooped.
Infamous in the building.
Oh God!
When Conor breaks his orbital bone and his shit like swelling up on the left side of his face.
Orbital. When he's wrestling, he's done wrestling. His knuckle out of his orbital.
It's gonna look like he's gonna have another head. His body.
Oh,
then that's when he's gonna quit on the stool. He'll be like, I can't see. And then all that shit he was talking about Conor being a quitter, that's just gonna bite him in the ass.
Oh my Lord.
That's what I'm predicting.
Man, this is crazy. Yeah. I'm kind of with what you said forward as far as I hate this fight for the fact that it's so fucking thick because you feel like Khabib is probably the better fighter, but you just know better than to pick against Conor McGregor. And honestly, man, it's not just like fucking wrestler versus striker in this fight, man. McGregor, his grappling is actually really underrated. I mean, he's had his purple belt for a while now, for one thing, and he showed some good. So he upgraded from his purple belt. Now he's got a damn brown belt. But either way, he's been training on his grappling, and he's got good takedown defense, impressive takedown defense. I mean, he got taken down a few times by Chad Mendes, and of course, if Khabib gets his hands on him, I don't think he's going to be able to. If he gets him down, he's not going to be able to really. He's going to have a hard time getting back up, but. I mean, one of the things that I forget who it was. I think it was Kevin Lee. They pointed out. I mean, Khabib, he has had problems, you know, getting some takedowns on some guys. Like Al Iaquinta, when he was diving for one of those singles and Iaquinta just got out of it. Like, he's put himself at risk going for takedown attempts. And I just think it's going to be, he can for sure get clipped in this fight. So as much as I feel like Khabib's going to win, but I just don't want to pick against McGregor, I legit feel like Conor McGregor could be the better fighter. And it's hard to say that because he's not 26-0, but I think he's got the skills. Not just on some, yeah, I think he's got the skills to win this fight, man. So I'm 50-50 here. I don't know if Khabib's gonna quit on the stool after Conor wrestles his elbow out of his orbital bone. But I'm like 50-50 here, and I think I've just picked against Conor McGregor like too many times. So before I pick against Conor, I would rather not make a prediction. So I think I'd probably, if you had a gun in my head, I'd say Conor McGregor. But I mean, if Khabib wins, I just probably wouldn't be too surprised. I probably would be, because it would be Conor losing to somebody not named Nate Diaz.
Yeah, you wouldn't. If Conor lost, you wouldn't hear from me for a long time. Nah. I'll come back the first day to eat my sour grapes, and then I'll be back like in 5 months.
Bro, if Conor loses, that's gonna be a sad day, honestly. Just for MMA fans, like how much he means to the sport by this point. Like, if he loses, that's gonna be a sad day.
Really sad. Yeah, I think there is a. I think you talked about it the other day, but if Khabib loses, like, he might retire. He just might be like, fuck it. Like,
yeah.
Why continue this? You know, I was 26-0. I lost once. Fuck it. I'm not.
And it would be real embarrassing.
For what? To fight Tony Ferguson for 500K or 200K or whatever.
Yeah, and after like he's been on the mic. I forget. I think it was Ford that pointed it out. Like on the mic, he's always like, "Where's your chicken? This guy tap like chicken." Like he's been calling for Conor. Like he's the undisputed at the press conference. If you lost after all of that, on top of how Conor McGregor did him at the press conference, it's like if you lose after that. Dude.
I'm still making a compilation of like all the times Khabib's called him the easy fight, #1 easy fight in the division.
#1 easy fight, and then
I don't know how you could say that, considering like if you really look at all of the opponents he fought, like Conor's probably the best one he fought like until this point. Like,
easily the best fight he's fought.
Yeah, but then he called.
his best fight he's fought.
Khabib sees every fight as an easy fight, but
yeah. Leon Dubson says #feed Khabib Habib time. Do you guys see Khabib as a true champion coming into this fight? It depends on what you mean by true champion.
How the fuck is he the true champion?
I think he's a true champion in the fact that he's a favorite against everybody in the division. There's no one you look at like, oh, they're better than Khabib.
Yeah.
Like when Bisping was the champion, you looked at guys like Yoel and Weidman like, yeah, they probably beat him.
Be careful for that.
Oh shit, my bad for it.
That was a funny time in MMA. Yo, he was hilarious. He was like, "You ain't getting the title shot, Luke Rockhold, you fucking bitch."
Right after the fight, you know where you're at right now. Oh shit, dude.
So your head was bouncing around like a pinball machine.
Like, dude, that is fucking crazy. But you know, I think if you look at Khabib, you look at him as the best fighter in the division. The only one you really look at right now that might beat him is like Conor. Like, yeah, I'd like to see Tony Ferguson. I'd like to see the matchups with Eddie Alvarez and Kevin Lee. But as of right now, I look at Khabib as the favorite. So who's the best fighter in the division? I think in that sense, yeah, Khabib's the rightful champion. But the way that he won the belt, that was unfortunate. Having to win it from fucking like the 11th ranked guy. Like, yeah, that's hard to call someone the champion that just beat the 11th ranked guy on short notice. But I still think he's the best in the division. So it's kind of hard to say that.
I feel like if he wins this fight, I'll call him a true champion.
Oh, yeah. If he wins this fight, guys, dude, man, if he wins this fight, that's going to be crazy.
Could you guys imagine if he retired?
I don't feel like Khabib could win this fight without being hurt at least once. There's no way Conor's not going to touch him with that left hand. He has to close that distance, and Conor's going to catch him.
Okay, I'll ask you guys this. What do you guys think about the fact that Conor was like, how he was at the press conference? I'll ask you, I'll frame it this way. Do you think it was like a drunken bravado because he was kind of scared? Do you think he was just confident and ready to set the press conference on fire?
Like, the thing about, I feel like, wait, what? Who said that?
I said that.
That's Stamina MC?
Yes, it is.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, shit, Stamina? Oh, shit. Hey, what's up, man?
What's good?
This is good. I'm kind of enjoying just being a lurker, to be fair. But yeah, it's fun.
All right.
Going, man?
But no fear, man. No way. Like that was Conor. Of course it was Conor. That was just Conor amplified. The whole proper 12 thing, yeah, that helped. That was a bit of a prop. It was a bit of a crutch. He didn't need that, but he was able to fall back on the whole alcohol thing to kind of permit him to be as cartoonish as he actually was there. He didn't need that. He was going to do that anyway. But to be able to tie it into the promotional angle and just make it more about him in every aspect like that, that was all part of it. He would have done that without proper 12, though, no doubt.
That was just hilarious when out of nowhere he's like, proper 12. Proper Irish whiskey.
Yo, I wasn't even thinking about it, but Dana White in the media, like, they were like, did you think that Conor was about to throw that glass and like, you know, the liquor in his face? That would have, dude.
His
like,
team would have ran.
To fight.
All of his Muslim simps would have ran out the fucking...
come on with the simp talk. Stop it, man.
They are, man.
Muslim simps. He's crazy.
They would have been like, you disrespected him? Oh, hell.
That's why they couldn't have been in the arena already when he started like going crossing the line a little bit. But yeah, no, that would Khabib would have had to scrap Conor. If Conor would have threw a drink in his face, he couldn't just sit there. There's no way you just sit there. Like, could you imagine having to sit there for the rest of the press conference, just drink on his face?
Khabib would have tossed Dana right out the fucking way.
He would have had to.
As soon as Conor came out with that alhamdulillah type of talk, as soon as Conor came out with that, it would have been off-ski. Someone in the audience would have dashed something straight at the fucking stage.
Oh, lucky Conor's fans weren't there because they would have started throwing some shit at Khabib.
No, but that's exactly it. That's why. As soon as Conor said that, alhamdulillah, just complete disrespecting of the language and whatever else, that would have been Muslim. Someone in the audience would have gone sick. That would have been it.
And then
everything gone.
That would have set them off, and then you got the proper 12 setting the Irish fans off. They're loving this shit. They're drunk.
100.
Dude, that would have been terrible if the fans were in there.
Yeah.
Like, you'd had bottles flying. And Conor said, yo, face us off before this bottle's empty. I don't think you want me up here with the empty bottle with this dude.
It's like, crazy how Conor, he just like switches between all, like, he has like 4 freaking personalities up there. He's a crazy guy. Then he turned humble when he talked about Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
Then he's the promotional guy. He's like October 6th. Like, he just allows himself to be free, and whatever happens, happens.
You know that dance, like there was the Conor McGregor challenge before he fought Floyd Mayweather, where he was like getting loose and he was swinging his arms behind him, hella loose. Like that's how he flows between his personalities, just how he
basically
like just.
Dude, it's funny because this is probably like the first time in Khabib's life that somebody has like, because he's always had people respect him so much because of his dad.
Mm-hmm.
His dad was such a well-respected person in Russia, so like it was always about respect with him. Nobody's ever talked to him this way. Nobody's ever done this to Khabib like in this manner. So it's interesting the way Khabib's gonna take that.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. Yeah, this shit is crazy. The levels of this. You guys want to speak on anything else on the press conference and stuff? I mean, Stamina MC and Infamous here now. I'll let you guys pretty much take over. Me and Ford have been talking for a while now.
What do y'all think of Khabib's shady ass past and all the people he'd be supporting?
I don't see. I don't know as much as him supporting them and their cause as much as just getting money from them. You know what I'm saying? I think they're more of just his sponsors. Kind of like AT&T. You know how they got like, I think Dan Lambert and a few guys that kind of financed the team. I think that's more of what it is. And of course, if the dude who is paying your bills gets locked up, you might try and be like, if you're a famous athlete, like, hey, president, you want to do me a favor? Can you like get our sponsor out? I think it's more of a sponsor thing. I don't really know if. And he might, I just don't know, but he might support all the dude's values and shit like that. But I just look at him as like Khabib's team sponsor. I don't know much more about it than that, but Conor does.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Like Khabib, he only got like angry like a couple of times, and one of the times was when Conor brought up his friend that's in jail right now. And he was like calling, like that was the one time he was calling a clown, and he was like, "No, I have questions for this guy now." Like I was like, "Oh, Conor finally got him angry, finally." Because I was he was doing a good job of being calm, and then like that one couple times he got angry.
Yeah, man. That and that's the dude that was in jail, I believe. His name's like Magomedov. I know he kept saying it like Mago, but Conor, and we know he had the little meeting with Putin, but he knows something else. Like because he was teasing him with Putin. He was saying like, ask Putin to get Magomedov out of jail. Ask him. And then later on, he was like, oh, are you disrespecting Putin? Are you like he?
Well, Khabib's had like a little problems with Putin before. Like when he asked him, obviously Putin was upset about that when he asked him to release that guy from jail because it was Putin who put him in there basically.
Yeah, so, I wonder why, if he didn't think that would do anything, I wonder why he would even add, like, if he didn't think Putin would like it, I wonder why Khabib would do that. Like, yo, Putin, help Magomedov.
But you have to think, like, Khabib's been surrounded by these powerful people his whole life.
Yeah, and
so
he's probably got people.
He probably thinks he can talk to him that way,
like, in his team, that were getting funded. They're probably like, yo, you need to use your platform and fucking speak to Putin because we ain't getting through to him, dog. So if you want to get Magomedov out, you got to speak up on that microphone. Closed mouth don't get fed. So yeah, that's a whole interesting situation. And I'm curious. I want to do more like geographical research. Like I want to go back to geography class for this fight. I want to learn the whole dynamic between Russia and Dagestan, because from what I've heard, maybe I'm completely off base, but I've heard like the Russian population isn't as fond of the Dagestan population, and with that being said, I've heard the Russian population actually supports McGregor more than the Dagestan, population. Of course, they're behind Khabib, but I've heard Conor might have more fans over there than Khabib.
Well, the thing is, Russia's was 50% Christian, 50% Muslim. And Dagestan is also a republic in Russia, so technically it's not part of Russia, even though most people consider that it is. So there's a lot of
Muslim simps
political
in Russia that still probably support Khabib.
And Putin is a Christian, and I think Ramzan.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so yeah, is there anything else about the press conference though? Because we've been live for about a little over 2 hours, so I'm probably gonna shut it down soon.
There was one more thing. Khabib's dad responded to Conor twice on his Instagram.
Oh, he did?
Yep. Yeah, it's in
now
Russia.
That I was wondering, like, you could imagine that's probably tense as fuck. Like, even if you're just sitting around Khabib's father, like if you're just like one of the soldiers, and you're watching the press conference and he starts talking all this shit, that would probably tense as fuck. Because if you've even heard, let me look up Khabib's dad. But if you even heard,
it looked like Khabib got in Khabib's dad's head more than Khabib. Because he responded twice to him.
Yeah, and man, it's just crazy how most people have so much respect for him. Even Khabib's coach, like he'll get on the mic like, "Yo, yeah, I'm the coach, but we got to make sure none of this would be possible if it wasn't for Khabib's dad." His name is like fucking, I don't know this dude's name, how to spell it. It's like Abdul Dum.
Oh, Abdul Manap.
There we go. Abdul Manap Nurmagomedov. Instagram, I'm guessing. All right. Let's see. I wonder if he posted McGregor or if it was like in. Oh, this is in Russian. That's probably not the one. I wonder if he probably responded in Russian, so I probably got to get it translated off of one of these sites, honestly. Because I'm clicking over here and all of the posts are in Russian, so probably got translated. Let's see if I can type in Khabib's father responds to McGregor. See what we can pull up here. Khabib's father responds to McGregor's coward comments.
You can see the picture right there.
Is it this one, the coward comments?
It's the one of the pictures he responded to was he called him. He said he was a coward because he's.
Yeah, I remember the quivering coward comments. I thought you were talking about the press conference.
And then his father posted the picture when he was with Ramzan, and he said something about that Ramzan went there to see the struggles of the Russian people.
Okay. Yeah, so here's the response to the quivering coward comments. I was wondering about like his response to like that press conference, but he said mentally, they can't get under our skin. In that aspect, we are standing firm. We are even letting certain things pass, but we are not forgiving anything. The cage and the fight are still ahead. For the hype, for the money, to bury Conor's era, it is even better for us. But if we talk purely sports-wise, we still want the Ferguson fight. I really want him to come back and defeat Pettis. The intrigue is still there, and the whole world is interested in the Ferguson fight. It would be 11-0 in Khabib in the UFC, 11-0 for him. in the fight that hasn't happened yet. So yeah, he responded to that a little bit, just, you know, not getting too affected by it in that response, but yeah, that was still crazy. It's not too crazy now after everything Connors did that he crossed that line, but still you wonder, man, like I wondered the crowd, dude, like even during the fight, the fucking crowd, you're gonna need extra security just in the crowd. Like Khabib's father's clearly not gonna be there, but you're gonna have clearly the crews on hand and shit like that. The crowd, I mean, I could imagine gonna be probably a little twisted. I don't know. This whole
isn't it crazy that it's only 12 days away now? Dude,
yeah,
that shit passed by fast,
that
right?
shit
Really?
is crazy.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
12 fucking days. October 6th, dude. It is super close.
Mark your calendar. I'm definitely gonna buy that proper 12 whiskey too.
Yeah, I'm actually right after we get off this live stream, I'm gonna call around to liquor stores and see if we have it anywhere yet. Like I gotta call the rich side of town. Like, hey guys, cheerio.
Yeah, I might just order it online, but I'm gonna see if the liquor stores have it.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be dope if they do. Like I remember Ludacris, just a side note, he came out with like a Conjure cognac back in the day, and we had to wait like a week to get that shit. Then we found it like on the other side of town. That's probably how it'll be for this. But man, I'm definitely, if I do, man, we're having a drunk stream. We're gonna be trying that shit on
make
stream.
a review of Connor's whiskey.
Oh yeah, I'm like, all right, guys, you guys ready to review this shit? I'm gonna crack it on camera.
You can have a tie on.
How long it takes for me to get drunk? Oh yeah, dude. Like, I'll do that sooner rather than later. Like it, as soon as we get off here, that's what I'm gonna do. So with that being said, pretty much, I think we're gonna do our closing thoughts. Anything. It can be UFC 229. It can be the press conference. It can be anything. So yeah, Infamous, if you want to start us off with the closing thoughts, go ahead and do that, brother.
Where is Noah? That's all I gotta say.
I can pull up his Instagram.
Nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. Oh, dude. Oh, who was it? I think it was Dylan Dennis, bro. He's been sharing all type of Noah jokes on Twitter. He's like something. No, like he's been sharing Noah
even
jokes.
John Kavanaugh took shots at Ali.
And then I seen people like, damn, there's hella, like Dylan Dana said, damn, there's rats all over this game. Like, holy shit, holy smokes.
Yeah, Khabib actually looks like a rat though. Like if you look at him. Like with his beard,
come on, man.
And like his ears.
Like,
I have to look at my dude's agenda, man.
Yeah, you're doing too much now, bruv. You're doing too much.
Wait, what? Nigga, never too much. Fuck you mean? It's war over here.
Hey, Khabib blocked him on the stream. Hey, does Khabib stream on Twitch as well? Did he block you like Mighty Mouse or what? Like, yo, come on.
Nah,
man.
he didn't block me. He's probably going to all the shit that I'm talking.
Yeah, I think I might snitch on you, bruv. It's a lot. Like,
Yo, yeah.
You gonna send us some at me? Come and get it.
It's the era of snitching. All the goats are doing it.
With a name like Infamous, you're basically calling it on, like.
All right, so Infamous says, where's Noah? What are your closing thoughts, Stamina? And first, I got to say, man, thanks for coming on the panel for the first time. I saw you on the Mobcast. I was hoping you would give us the pleasure of hopping on the panel. So salute to you, Stamina. Thanks for coming on, man. Enjoyed your presence. Stamina. And what are your closing thoughts, man?
My closing thoughts, honestly, all I can think of after listening, watching to the presser, hearing all the kind of like reactions and the breakdowns and the analyses and yada yada yada, I'm just thinking to myself, what must that bitch ass Artem Lovov be thinking about what he's created in all of this?
That's crazy.
Because for me, yeah, Artem is an absolute fucking bitch. Like, no one told him to say any of that stuff publicly. No one told him to lie about it when he got called about it. He got one little tap in the back of his head, and all of this has happened as a result. For me, I feel like the rivalry between Conor and Khabib was, you know, they didn't really respect each other or whatever, but yeah, cool, it's the fight game. People chat shit, whatever else. But for Khabib, at least, from time guys are breaking into a building to start throwing shit at a bus, that's personal. I don't think it was personal before that. I think that changed everything for him, at least. Yeah. So now it's different. And that's only because on several layers, Artem couldn't handle his shit.
I don't know if he
created all
couldn't
of
or if he
this.
decided not to. You got to remember, Artem
It's the
I
same
think
thing
he
to
could
me.
have handled it. I just think he.
Same
Look,
thing.
man,
He
you
was
gotta do
being
some
petty.
gangster shit when that shit happens. You gotta kick the nigga in the nuts and run. That's
Hey,
how you
Connor
handle
addressed
shit
it
like
at the thing. He said
I
he knows
don't know
what
where
he
you
should have
grew
done.
up, bro.
He said he
it's
knows what he should have done. He should have stitched him and ran out of there.
that. Exactly. When you got
Yo.
5 people on you, you sucker punches the first guy and fucking run.
Yo,
And-
wouldn't that
and
have
he
been
didn't
crazy
do
if
that
that
either.
was
That's
on
my point.
camera, bro? That would have still showed this fight. If he just socked him and you
And
saw
then
a whole
Khabib-
crew running
Khabib
after
would have
Artem
been
on the
the
camera.
Khabib would have been unanimously the enemy here had that happened. Like had Artem actually fought back.
Oh,
Then,
yeah.
Because then he would have looked like the guy jumping Artem.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that,
Go ahead.
yeah, that's still an interesting thing because, I mean, and I like Stamina MC's point. A lot of this really, I don't even know where we would be today if it wasn't for Artem
Yeah, I
Lobov.
forgot about Artem,
As,
to be honest.
this is one of the greatest fights in history, and thanks to Artem Lobov. So you can kind of thank him for it.
The GOAT, baby.
Salute to Artem. No, but yeah, man, this is epic. It all like spiraled, butterfly effect from the Artem Lobov incident.
Big up Artem Lobov.
All right. Well, before I give my closing thoughts, though, you have anything you want to say, my brother?
My closing thoughts are just a shout out to chat, man. Shout out Leon Dobson, Giohe1, obviously Infamous and Stamina in here. It's good to see you guys. Obviously, we already know Bisping is the GOAT. That's undisputed. There's no need to even talk about that anymore. And you know what? With this fight, right? Like,
Cut his line. Cut his line.
Stamina, behave. Hey, look here. Put some respect on the GOAT, man. Shit, yo. Anyways, look, the thing with this fight, right? Just one thing I know for sure is just how crazy it's been. I just feel like we shouldn't expect the norm. We shouldn't just expect Conor to Khabib to just maul Conor. We shouldn't just expect Conor just to get a knockout. I feel like with how crazy everything's been, we should expect something pretty crazy to happen. I'm not saying it's gonna be a 13-second knockout. I'm not gonna say Khabib's gonna get with a flying knee, but something crazy is gonna happen. That's what, it's not gonna be something that we're all expecting. It could be something completely different, like a submission, like maybe
Please don't let
Conor
it be
winning a
DQ.
decision. Oh hell no.
Like some
That would be
Muslim
crazy.
simp just ran inside the fucking octagon or something. Stop Conor from
Oh my
beating
God! Cut his mic. Cut his mic. Stop it.
He said, in the name of Allah, and then he just runs inside the fucking octagon. Like, I'm not letting you gonna beat up Khabib, Conor.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
That's
God.
crazy, dude. I'm not going to be surprised if this is one of the fights where a fan does try and scale the octagon. I don't think they'll make it, but I would not be surprised.
And it probably is gonna be. You guys already know what I'm gonna say.
Muslim simp.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, so
Oh,
salute to the chat. I do have to say, I mean, I hear you Stamina MC and your point on Artem Lobov, but I got to raise you a thanks to Artem Lobov because I mean, yeah, the way he played it out, you know, you might not agree with and whatnot, but thanks to him, this fight's only 12 days away, and the stakes are that much higher. And also thanks to the GOAT Artem Lobov, we had that press conference, one of the greatest of all time. So, I mean, you could argue he's the cause of all of this, but is that a good or a bad thing? And I want to say, man, as far as the fights coming up, it's a great time to be an MMA fan. I mean, we got UFC 229 is the next event. Like, do you guys realize it's not even a fight night UFC event until then? And actually, I got to close on Mousasi versus Macdonald because if you're sleeping on this card, man, I just don't even know.
Wait, when's the card? When is it?
It is next Saturday. There's no UFC. It's on Saturday. It's not a weekday. There's no way to miss this card. If you missed this card, I just don't know if we can forgive you on the panel. Honestly, this card is insane. Rampage versus Vanderlei. I mean, say what you want about that, but it kicks off the welterweight Grand Prix. So I've had a good time with you guys being on the panel. I want to start doing these panels way more often. I don't have any work next week, but normally the panels are going to be in the daytime, so a little earlier than this. So either way, thank you guys for coming on the panel. Thank you, everybody, for being listening to the show. John Taylor, Web's PK Vids, just everybody. So we're going to shut it down for today. And, yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for hopping on, man. And
respect the GOAT. Respect the GOAT, Bisping.
Yeah, so with that being said, man, it is what it is.
That's not happening forward. Not today.
Two GOATs, Bisping and Lobov. With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full time family know what you guys think in the comments, man. We're out of here.